What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Feast, episode 116, the show where you submit replays, we cast them. I'm Delthius. How's it going, everybody? Joining me on the desk today, we've got Epicosity, the main organizer of the upcoming Tooth and Tail Champions 2021. What's going on, dude?
Hey, just living life.
Yeah, I hear that. It's a nice Sunday afternoon to be playing some video games.
Indeed, I'm excited.
Yeah, so I think the levels should be okay. Let me know in chat if they are not. But yeah, the big thing today is we've got 2021 TNT Champions. Is that what we're calling it? What's the official name?
Yeah, 2021.2, because it's the second season of this year.
Right.
Yeah, TNT Champions.
Okay, so we're doing some rebranding here. So we went from TNT Championship to TNT Champions. It's
Yeah.
kind of the Coca-Cola to the Coke, you know?
Yeah, it just looks better shorter, I think.
Yeah, I like it. I could dig it. So last season, I could dig up the VOD, actually. I probably should have had that on my hotbar here. But we had Meek versus Melvin Fro for Premier League Champions last time, right? And it was a good series. I think Meek ended up being our champion. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, it was kind of the battle of flexibility versus strong meta deck.
Right.
And I'm very happy that Meek won, actually, because I am a big fan. I'm a proponent of those sorts of cool styles and flexibility in your play. And so I liked seeing Meek win out over the very skilled but also fairly formulaic play of Melvin Pro.
Yeah, and Meek is always... It was funny when I was really active on the ladder, I would run into Meek, and he would do something like build 4 artillery cannons and 3 foxes or something nuts like that. Like, he was always doing the most crazy stuff. And then he got really good at rushing, if I recall correctly, right? Like, he was one of those players that was not afraid to hit you with a 4-farm double or something like that. And
Yeah.
I remember in my memory is so poor, unfortunately, but I do kind of remember there were some games from the championship where Meek was hitting some really sharp boar timings, right, with some snakes and stuff.
Yeah, he would, yeah. He just nailed his timings constantly. I think part of the benefit of him having practiced all those weird things is, as much as it's, haha, Meek's a memer, it's also kind of taught him to be flexible.
Right. So if anybody is not aware, actually, can I just use the server invite button here for TNT Champions? I want to link the Discord in the chat.
Yeah.
Let me see, that should work. But so what are some of the differences this time around between the upcoming TNT Champions 2021.2 versus 2021.1?
Well, the primary one is going to be placement. I think in all previous seasons, the placement has kind of been player derived. Like, we ask people where they think they belong, where they want to be, and then that's where they end up. In this one, we're doing a Swiss, which is basically just you play series, and your place or your performance in those series determines who you play in the future. So it ideally gets more and more refined. The matchups get more balanced as that format progresses, and then at the end, you're placed based on your performance, based on your placement in this Swiss Open.
And so, for those of you who are not aware of how like a Swiss works, and just make sure I understand it correctly, it's basically you're going to go up against multiple different people. You're going to end up with a record at the end of it, and that's going to kind of determine. So maybe you play like 10 matches or something against just kind of random other contenders, and then everyone's going to get a final score based on that, 7-3, 8-2, whatever it is, and then that'll help kind of seed you into the brackets.
Yeah, yeah, but it's fewer rounds than that. It's going to be a 5-round Swiss. Part of the reason I'm doing that is because I think that having each individual game in a series matter more is cool, and also makes for upset possibilities. So, like, let's say one of the players who ultimately would be one of the lower seeds ends up going against one of the players who would be one of the higher seeds early on, because there's no organization at the beginning. You just play whoever. It's random.
Yeah.
And you end up going 2-3 when you probably should have gone 0-3. That could really affect you, because it's not just going to be wins and losses in the series, it's also going to be score within the series.
That makes sense. Yeah. So even if you lose the series, but you take a couple matches off like Big Pimp and Tosh or something, you're still gonna get points for that.
Exactly.
So it's kind of you've been involved behind the scenes a lot for a long time now in Tooth and Tail, haven't you? I mean, you've been doing quite a few events, and I think is this the first one you're kind of stepping up? You're the main man. You're the leader of it.
Yep, this is the first. I started when Mocha began.
Oh wow!
I was just helping out.
Yeah.
Then, but obviously Mocha was a really awesome organizer and did a lot of production value stuff. He's very, very talented and has some, I think, graphic design background, and so he was able to make awesome stuff. So we can't really do that because I don't have the time or the ability, but hopefully my eye for statistics and math is helpful in the actual tournament organization part of running everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of smart nerds in this scene, man. I mean, I think Mochaccino's actually pretty good with like coding and stuff too. Like,
oh, that too, yeah.
I made like a little kind of janky Python script. I mean, I know enough coding to act like I know coding. That's about it. And I made like this little janky Python script I just used for my own like rename replays real quick. And Mocha took that and like expanded on it and made this huge, awesome compiler, like replay compiler for tournaments. I think still gets used pretty often or has recently in the past, where you could send, and I think it would even put in dummy replays for you. Like you would send in best of 5, you know, but there's only 3 replays, so it just kind of bam, it'll rename everything, put in the dummies. And
the Mocha tool?
Yeah, the Mocha tool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would highly, when we get started on actually doing matches, I'm definitely going to link that in the Discord, because that is a really awesome tool.
Yeah. Okay, so I like the Swiss format, and what I think is interesting, the reason I want to bring up some of your previous tournament organizing skill is because there's how do I put this? It's actually a lot more complicated to keep everybody involved and to keep everybody engaged, especially in long-term events like this. And what I try to tell people who kind of come to me with like a tournament idea or something, want me to help host or whatever, is, you know, keep it short, stupid, the KISS method, you know, because especially for like a one-day event, what I think ends up being a problem in some of these events and can also like scare people off is if it's not concise enough, and that's where it's interesting when you do something like this, because the whole format of the event is to be a longer thing, right? Like what's nice about TNT Championships is it's kind of this kind of reason to keep practicing, reason to keep playing over several months and to keep it going. So it's really difficult for you, in my opinion, because you've kind of got to balance those two things, where you have to keep player engagement, player commitment over long periods of time, but you also want to make sure it's fun and people are looking forward to it and not getting burnt out or anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think on that note, there's kind of an element of you need to know that people are going to lose interest and drop no matter how interesting your tournament. So you have to make it adaptable in the formatting. So that that happens.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly, everything I'm doing is off the back of lessons we've learned over how long have we been doing this? Like 2 years,
right?
Something like that. Yeah. So I'm definitely stealing ideas from Kipo and from Mocha and inputting a little of my own from Trumpet. Just things I like that other organizers have done over my time in the Tooth and Tail community that I think will ultimately make for maybe not, I don't want to say the best, but hopefully the best I could do.
So that's a really good point, because it's like, even for a one-day event, you know, that's just happening on a Saturday or something, you know, you might have like 40 people sign up, but only 29 or something actually show up that day to play. So how do you organize things in such a manner to where that doesn't just break the event? You know, when somebody's supposed to be in position C and then all of a sudden they slept in too long or forgot about it or had something else to do or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I do want to get into some casting soon, but real quick, I want to talk a little bit more about the format here. So we're gonna have a Swiss coming into this now. Traditionally, we have divisions. It looks like, looking at the announcement, we're still gonna have divisions this time.
Yes. There will be individual divisions, but the divisions will have to be flexible.
Right.
In terms of size and even quantity of divisions. We may not have the 3 divisions we always do. I just have to adapt to the participants.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Especially maybe even going down from 3 to 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Might end up making sense. But at the same time, I mean, I could see the argument for and against divisions. But what I've always really liked about the organization style of a lot of these events is there is a lot of effort that goes into trying to make this as accessible and as playable for everybody. Like if you're watching this VOD right now, we encourage you to join events because, like, don't worry, you're not going to get steamrolled by guys like Tatanka or the Gentleman. Like, if you're a newer player or kind of play casually, we typically try to tailor a section of the event for you. That way everybody can get involved and have fun and participate.
Yeah, for sure. And especially because the more players there are, the more granular we can organize it.
Yeah.
So that there is more of a division for newer players or players who haven't, put in the same hours as, say, Meek with his something like 5,000.
It's so crazy.
I know.
So when are signups ending?
Signups end August 20th.
Yeah, so in 5 days. So if you haven't signed up now, get in there soon. And then the Swiss looks like we're going to get done with that by the 29th. Actually, round 1. So we're going to be doing Swiss like all the way through September.
Yes, we're doing 1 round per week just so that there's plenty of time to schedule. I'm going to be hard with the deadlines. We've been kind of fluid on deadlines, and I think that ultimately hurts engagement more than it helps.
Right.
Even though it is, nice. But I feel like I've given good time for...
Yeah, one week's a long time. And what's it, like a best of 3 for the Swiss or something?
Yeah, I'd make it a best of 5 just because I think that that longer series are more interesting.
Sure.
I like making series that are best of a higher number instead of having you do more series.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm always on the fence with these kinds of things, man, because I do really like the events. Sometimes I participate, but at the same time, I kind of like the idea of having that dedicated host or caster, you know what I mean? But a lot of people that play like also cast and cover it and stuff too, which is amazing. We've actually got a lot of really good casters and Twitch streamers in the community. But I don't know, man. I hit that sign up button this time. I think I'm gonna give it a go. Whip out my Fox and see what happens. I don't know if it's the Fox meta though right now, right? It's really tier 1 based. I need to get. We shouldn't have done replays today. We should have just done Epicossi coaching Delthius for a couple hours.
I'm sure you don't need it, or at least maybe you do, but I'm sure that I couldn't help you.
I think if I don't know. If I put the time in, man, I think I can get okay again. You know what I mean? Like good enough to do well. Like I'm not gonna win the thing or anything, but I think I could do okay if I put some practice in.
I think you'd be surprised. Tooth and Tail feels to me more like riding a bike.
It is. I was about to say that.
StarCraft is like a mechanical journey.
Yes.
And so when you quit, you can't go back. But Tooth and Tail, I feel like you can always go back because there isn't the same mechanical demand.
StarCraft is like playing a piano. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you quit practicing for a few months, it's really gonna hurt you. Where Tooth and Tail, it's like if you understand what's going on with the game and how things work, you can kind of take a break and pick it back up and come back. But let's get into some replays. I know we got some good viewership here, so I appreciate everyone hanging out, and they're probably ready for some blood. But tell your friends, spread the word. TNT Champions, you got 5 more days to sign up, and don't be shy. All levels of skill are welcome. It looks like we might not do 3 divisions this time around, but we'll definitely have at least 2. So if you are a beginner and you're a little bit nervous about getting like rolled over by a top tier player, don't worry about that too much. And yeah, are you ready to hop into some casting here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah, just let me know in the chat if levels are good. I think they are. But alright, let's hop into game number 1 here. Mochaccino versus Xnor. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, spawning on the right-hand side, we've got Mochaccino. And over on the left, Xnor. Okay, so my brain is telling me Xnor's deck, but my heart is telling me Mochaccino's, right? Like, Badger,
Yeah.
Wolf, like, come on, that's just fun.
Yeah, this is interesting. I like these decks. This is kind of, if it goes late, really late, I think Mocha is in a great position to win this game. But Exnor has way more power in the mid game due to having additional tier 2s over Mocha.
Mocha's being a little sneaky here in the early game. Gonna go for a Mole Rush. Have you played a lot on the new patch just yet?
Quite a bit.
I wonder, I mean, are moles just still kind of... Now, moles got changed a little bit, right? Don't they lose less HP on the Warrens now?
Yes, I think they are effectively... Wow, he got that. That's really good.
That was...
that is value, for sure. I think moles are 5 food now lost on the Warren.
I'm just wondering if we're going to get past the point... It's so funny, I mean, if any unit has kind of changed more, like, is it the mole, you know what I mean? Like, over the years, that's just, like, defined metas or been useless, or, I mean, it's changed so much over the course of the game.
I don't envy eel. Moles are hard. They're kind of like ferrets. If you make them even a little unbalanced, they will ruin the game. So they're such a hard unit, and... So yeah, I just appreciate all the work he does. I think that moles in the last patch were kind of just mathematically improbable to use. And with 5 food, they're effectively 25 food per mole.
Yeah.
I think that's usable. It's not as bad. And so if you just look at the stats, you know, HP per food, it's much more reasonable, it's somewhat competitive. It's situational though. I think moles, they're in a good place now because they're situational.
Yeah. And we see Mocha kind of macroing up. That's what he likes to do. I was actually kind of surprised to see the Mole Rush come out, but yeah, it was very calculated, very exactly getting the value before the mole died. I also like that he just made 1 mole and then just packed it up and left after he got the damage. And taking a bit of an eco lead here. But I guess my question with moles, like, obviously they have the role of being that early game pre-8 farm harassment unit. See, Araloo used to do this so much, man, because I was very greedy. I remember when Araloo was coming up. It was the patch that I want to say it was one of the patches that made the mole come out of the Warren immediately, like as he slammed down the Warren. And back in that time, players were very greedy, very quick to get up to the tier 2 Warren. So you would sometimes go 8 farm into a mill, right? And there wasn't a whole lot of answer to it. But then Araloo figured out you could do this, and look at that. Mochaccino just completely denying that second base with a couple moles there.
Yeah, Xnor has forgotten what moles can do. I think that is another interesting thing. When something falls out of favor, it kind of, when it has its revival, it's like people have to relearn the power of it.
Yeah. And also people can really overestimate small nerfs, and that happens in every game, where, you know, the squirrel will lose like 1 HP or something, and then everybody will be like, oh, the squirrel's a trash tier unit now, you know what I mean? Where it's like, no, I mean, it's still fine, it's just a little weaker than it was. Ooh, this is counterattack though, starting to get some work in. Yeah. Gonna pack it up though, trying to keep his last skunk alive, it looks like. He did get the 2 skunks from Mocha there. So, oh man, 1 HP. Get that skunk in the water, brother. There you go.
The issue with all this is, well, that attack was good. It didn't get the vital damage, and Mocha has both his tier 3s up.
Yeah.
They're both building, so that is a lot of food investment, and Xnor, I don't think, is able to stop this. Although, Mocha's still going to be weak for a really long time. If Xnor goes now,
this is the window. Like, Mocha is so far ahead. If he wasn't going for the double tier 3, I don't think Xnor would have a chance here, because... You know, if Mocha just had more tier 2, more tier 1, but he's only got 3 squirrels right now. Xnor is coming in, and yeah, he's got like 20 seconds. The Wolf's gonna hit the board, but the Wolf's not super powerful by itself. It needs to support units.
That skunk cast, though, is crazy. 2 skunks can do so much when they have stuff to tank for them, like those Warrens there.
Yeah, those 2 skunks and a couple structures just held it, and now I think that window for Exnor's closing. He got some damage in there. He killed some Warrens, killed some pigs, but not crippling game-ending damage. And now we've got the Badger Wolf combo here.
But he does have 15 squirrels. I know that squirrels counter badgers, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was a fun game, actually.
That was awesome.
Mocha showed off some really cool strategies there. And that was one thing I wanted to bring up, but I didn't really have time because the game was so fast, was like... I wonder, I like the concept that the moles are this utility unit, you know, and like you were saying earlier, if they're too good at just being, like, in the fray with the squirrels and lizards and stuff, then we've kind of got a problem. But I would love to see more mole play like what we saw Mochaccino do to that second base right there. Or even stronger than that. Like, Tiki Gray really kind of popularized doing, like, flank moves with your snakes, you know? I want to see some more, like, flanks with hidden moles, you know? Like, build 2 mole warrens and go just annihilate that third base or something.
Yeah, that's one of the situations in the game where it actually does require a lot of precision.
Yeah.
I really love to see those moments.
Cool. Well, let's keep it going. We got a lot of ground to cover here. Ready for game number 2?
Yep.
All right, let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, spawning on the bottom left, the tournament runner-up from last season, we've got Melvin Fro. And up top, his opponent, Rush.
Melvin taking the ferrets.
Yeah, I love to see it. Yeah. The ferrets are one of those units that just gets you so hyped, you know?
Yeah.
Because it can work. That's the thing. Like, it really can, but it's such a niche situation. Like, what I'm kind of starting to get at with my, like, ferret theory crafting is you don't want your ferrets to be like your first tier 2 unit, you know? Because they just don't have the power level then.
Right.
But it's nice if you can kind of sprinkle them in later on. Or one thing too I'm curious about with lizards being so popular, I wonder if we're going to see more turret play. And ferrets of course do nice with turrets, but you know, being able to kind of protect against lizard flanks with just a couple turrets, I mean, it's not cost effective early on, but when you're on a lot of bases, big economies, you can probably afford that.
Yeah, I agree, actually. I think that turrets are already becoming more popular, but especially, I think, as people realize that the aggression is getting more powerful with how strong the tier 2 are relatively, or tier 1 are relatively right now. Turrets are... I've seen turrets a lot in my games on this patch as well, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I should probably pick up ferrets if I can plot it into my main deck somehow.
Yeah, it's one of those units that if you've got the turret, like that's kind of the combo, you know, the ferret turret, like pigeon badger or something. So if you're already using turrets, it's like, ugh, can I fit this in somewhere?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
So far a lot of tier 1. Rush actually still using the toads. Toads are out of favor these days, right? And it was mostly because the speed debuff and not necessarily, I think HP was the other one, or was it, no, it was single target damage, right?
Yeah, I think they're still good against tier 1.
Okay.
Yeah, the single target damage really only affects the ways in which they were broken, which was like something you can do with toads back in the previous patch was you can throw an equal value of toads against a boar and it would actually kill the boar.
Damn.
Because the single target damage was just so out of whack.
Yeah.
I think they got probably over nerfed because I'm happy that they don't do as much single target, but they definitely could be fast still. I like Toad Road Gang.
I like the concept of the over nerf though. It makes sense to me just to kind of put toads in jail for this patch. You know, like let's rethink them. Let's figure it out, because the one thing I was seeing a lot on the previous patch, and it was kind of cool to be fair, and there was some room for some cool micro engagements, but if you had enough toads in the mid to late game, I mean, you could just blow up the whole army, you know?
That's true. Yeah. Got really strong Squirrel Toad, because it was just so powerful defensively, so if you ecoed off the back of it, you could win fights with less value.
But I'm like torn on it, because I'm also a big proponent of, like, toads are actually toads are one of the units in the game that create some of the coolest micro situations of trying to, like, run my 3 toads into the enemy 6 toads, or like try to bait out bad connections, or I mean, you even used to see guys like Mishi or Gentleman have like big packs of lizards and be able to micro the lizards in such a way to blow up the toads while only losing like a lizard at a time, which was insane, you know.
Yeah.
So I love all that interaction that you can get with toads. I think they do have a place, but it is nice, you know, when give them a little break for a little while, you know, kind of go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I understand the rationale. I personally am not a fan of the of swinging the balance in big ways. I like making small adjustments, trying to get it to, you know, a good equilibrium. But I can also understand. Oh, Melvin Fro building a board now. That kind of puts a timer on Rush, either to scout it or
Rush
to do
actually
something.
did not scout it yet, but here he's coming in now, and I think it's still early enough. If he did scout it, he could prepare, but doesn't actually see it. However, he is getting some snakes up. That's kind of what you need against the boar, so we'll see. But yeah, Melvin looks like he's going to try to come in and just end this game on a big push.
I think Rush might be able to hold. He's Owl's building now, so
these falcons should be very well timed too with the board. He should have all 4 of his falcons when that boar is ready. He can even maybe start peppering in some pigeons here just for a little bit of back end healing. Let's see what he decides
Melvin
to do.
Fro's gonna have a pigeons. He's gonna have a very strong army, but Rush might be able to hold, given toads and some skunks. Clear out the what?
Oh no, go ahead.
Clear out the ground.
Yeah.
The tier 1, and then let the snakes tag everything.
You know what I was thinking about the other day about snakes is there an interesting unit because they kind of demand the micro focus of your army. So I was thinking about like fox snake, like you could almost never see something like that, or like snake badger. I mean, you can, but these are units that you need to be prioritizing your micro on, and honestly, kind of like when you have your badger or your fox, you want to be a little bit defensive with your commander positioning when the armies come in, you know, like keep them back a bit, where the snake is like the opposite. The snake you want to be diving into the opponent's army and trying to get those tags. And
yeah, you're right. There's definitely a strange sort of, like, you only know if you know Tooth and Tail. Right? Because like in other games, I keep using StarCraft, but in StarCraft you've got spellcaster units, and you want to babysit them, micro them a lot. But you can have multiple different spellcaster units if you're really good. But in Tooth and Tail, there is kind of a limit on what you can micro, and I kind of think of these units like snakes and badgers as kind of being the spellcasters.
Yeah, no, that's a really good analogy. Kind of snake, badger, ferret, fox. You know, sometimes you can have like flanking units like chameleons or moles. There is a lot of like really cool micro that can be done in Tooth and Tail and at high level play, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what's nice about units like the owl or the boar, is they pair so well with the snake because they're this big, chonky tier 3 unit that you don't really have to micro much. Like, yeah, with the owl, you know, you want to sometimes bring it forward a bit, let it tank, and make sure you bring it back. But you can actually do that while you're microing your snakes, because that's not commanding your full attention, if that makes sense. Like, you just kind of got to give it a command every now and then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think you kind of got to micro everything all the time, but also it's like, I think part of being the top level is knowing what you can ignore, more so than it is being able to masterfully control everything. I think knowing what to ignore is probably one of the most important skills.
Well, it's all about priority, and that's a concept in any RTS game. And again, bringing StarCraft up as the example, you know, there's no such thing as multitasking, right? It's prioritizing certain things over others, if that makes sense. Like, all right, I'm controlling my army, and then I go back and I build an extra SCV, then I build a Marine, and that's kind of the way that it works in Tooth and Tail with controlling your units, where you're like, okay, I can let my squirrels kind of do their thing. I need to bring my skunks back a bit. Like, you got to prioritize the right thing. But Melvin actually didn't go for a big attack in, and we're kind of getting to a death ball game here.
Yes, we are. I'd like to see more skunks out of Melvin. I think that skunks are a really efficient tanking unit. and they also clear out the mice and other tier 1 really effectively. So
this is where I'd actually love to see just one ferret den. You know, like pressure the enemy, especially if you feel like with your defender's advantage, Rush is going to be at a disadvantage if he tries to attack in, and then you just sit there and you punish him with the ferrets while he's waiting.
Yeah, Melvin Pro, you're right. He's just playing with 5 slots right now, so it'd probably be nice to build at least one, because it's not going to affect the value of his army that much in terms of combat. To have 2 ferrets, it's 240 food.
And this map is kind of balanced here. I mean, I feel like both sides have access to 4 bases, so I mean, we're in a Cold War situation here. We're just on an arms race. Let's see who makes the first move. And again, with the concept of defender's advantage, and not only that, but when you have this many units, you got to keep in mind the units actually got to find a tile when he moves before he can start attacking. So when you're trying to move in, your opponent's units already have established tiles and will kind of be able to shoot first in some situations. So that's another thing to consider.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. One of the there's a Gent event that I played in where I was playing basically like an all tier 3 deck with squirrels on an extra large map.
Nice.
Which, yeah, if you recall that at all. But
sounds familiar.
Yeah, basically I figured out the formula. I was beating players I really shouldn't have beat, like Arlu. Arlu obviously advanced, but I did give him a run for his money because I kind of figured out the formula.
Yeah, the really big like maze kind of map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Arlu I won by the skin of my teeth, but for a lot of people that should have been close matches because we're close in skill, it kind of just wasn't because I'd figured it out so effectively.
Right.
But that's something with Squirrel. When you just have 2 massive squirrel balls, the person who stands still first is generally the person who wins.
Yeah.
Because when they have their tile, they're going to be shooting. Meanwhile, the other person's squirrels will actually run through your squirrel ball trying to find a tile on the other side.
Yeah.
This is only when it gets like 30 squirrels each.
Right.
But we may be getting there. Rush is building 21. Melvin has stole all his squirrels. I like that decision. I think squirrels, just especially with all the mice getting up, they just have some severe diminishing returns.
Finally, we're starting to see the ferrets come in here, and yeah, I think as the game is going on and on, we're probably going to start getting rid of the squirrels, trying to prioritize more tier 2 in here. You know, even skunks are just good to tank, but curiously, Rush still is committing to a lot of squirrels here, but finally we got some ferret harassment coming in, and is Melvin just going to move? No, he's just baiting out the mice. I love all the pigeons here,
yeah, those pigeons giving him a lot of fake tankiness.
Here we go. Big engagement, and Rush seems to be slaughtering it, but it's hard to tell because there's so many falcons still in the air, and you cannot underestimate the power of a strong air force in this game. And look at that. Melvin losing most of the ground army, but still has a boar alive and still has all these falcons up top, and I think he's just going to slam through.
Yeah, that boar is... Oh, that boar's getting healed so fast.
Yeah, when you have 15 pigeons like this, like even like one of those falcons right there was getting healed by 7 pigeons. I mean,
yeah,
it's insane.
Who cares about the pigeon cap?
Yeah.
Pigeons are still good. They're best in this situation when you're attacking and you can't go back to heal. You want to keep the pressure up, but the pigeons are keeping everything alive.
I am a little disappointed though, because right when Melvin got the ferrets, like he just went in. Like, there wasn't that, like, I'm gonna poke you down with the ferrets for a little bit? No.
Well, we can kind of blame that on the ferrets, though, in a way. Like,
that's true.
Rush sent the mice wave in, or the mouse wave in, because ferrets were starting to shell him, which gave Melvin for the opportunity to push in and win.
What I think is interesting about that game is maybe Rush kind of underestimated the late game potential of the Falcons. You know? Did I do the wrong button here? Hang on, trying to ban something. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just reading chat. Tonka says Boar Falcon's better than Wolf Owl, which is funny because that's all Tonka's doing right now. It was Wolf Owl. Although I'm inclined to agree. Actually, I think that when you distribute your food properly in a boar, falcon, skunk army, it's pretty unstoppable. Just the amount of DPS you get with all the sources of AoE, and then the fact that falcons are just the masters of scaling. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah, when you get too many
rough.
falcons, it's like what can actually be done about that, you know?
Yeah,
And
build
it's
more.
kind of interesting though because falcons are so vulnerable for so long. Like just a few falcons can easily get ran over by like tier 1 or lizards or whatever, but when you build up to like 20 falcons, it's just crazy. And there doesn't necessarily, like in RTS theory, there doesn't necessarily need to be an answer to that. Like it kind of reminds me of Brood War where it's like, what is the Terran supposed to do when the Protoss gets to 12 carriers? It's like, well,
I'm not supposed to get there.
you weren't supposed to let him get to 12 carriers, but I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't mind that about design either, to be honest. I think it makes it less accessible for new players as they're figuring out what not to let people do.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, um, assuming that both players are pretty skilled, I kind of like the trying to do something that you're not supposed to sort of dynamic.
Yeah. And I also like the variety and kind of roles that gives tier 2 units, you know, like
Yeah.
snakes are very powerful in like the mid game or the early late game, you know, where bam you get the tags on that important tier 3 unit or the other tier 2s, but when you get to that like hyper late game, the falcons are stronger than the snake, you know.
Yeah, I actually had someone doing a very interesting tactic against me once. They did snake pigeon, but because they were rushing a tier 2, I don't remember what my response was, but at the time there was like a certain canned response to someone rushing a tier 2 on you, and it
Right.
actually played perfectly into snakes. So that's another interesting thing about what is meta can make certain things stronger because you can expect a certain reaction from a
Yeah.
player.
It's very true. All right, this next game, a couple powerhouses here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, spawning on the left-hand side. One of the best memers. We got Big Pimpintosh.
And oh boy, is he memeing.
And over on the right-hand side, arguably the strongest tooth and tailer at the moment, Tatanka. So Tosh, with his 4 tier 3s and some mines and some drunk good boys, can he get this done?
I want to believe that Tosh can do it. He does have Wolf Badger. I think Wolf Badger is one of the best counters to Wolf Owl.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, can you just call it Wolf Owl, though, or is it really Wolf Owl Snake? You know what I mean?
It is Wolf Owl Snake. People always say Wolf Owl Snake, and for a while I didn't actually know what the comp to Tonka runs is. I have now seen it, so I'm pleased about that. But the other day, Tiki was telling me it's actually Wolf Owl Snake, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that Snake was a vital component.
I think it is. Like, I think it's... I mean, I'm not as... The wolf part of it seems to be newer, but just, like, owl snake in general, like, pairs so well, you know? Because it's like, yeah, I mean, badger beats owl, but not really when you put the snake in the mix.
Yeah. That discourse. Apparently, Tasha's deck isn't memeing. It is a completely legit deck. No, I don't mean that it's not a legit deck when I say a deck is memeing. I just mean it probably isn't the most flexible on all maps. And so, meme decks are kind of just like situational decks.
I think what Tosh is doing here is crazy enough for us to call it a meme deck. Like, what, you know, it's not standard, I wouldn't say.
No,
like, running
it's
4 tier
certainly
3 and some mines. But just because it's a meme deck doesn't mean it's a bad deck, if that makes sense. It's like a jank deck in Magic the Gathering or something. It's like, I got this janky strategy where I'm trying to cheat out this legendary creature with a sorcery that lets me search my deck or something. And it's like, it's a little jank because it's not meta, but when I do get that out and that creature hits the board, you know, that's it. That's game.
Yeah. OTK
Yep.
decks.
Exactly. OTKs
Like,
are a great example.
it's gonna happen 1 in 20 games, but when it does, everything is gonna be worth it.
When it does, I'm gonna clip it and put it on YouTube and make it seem like that's what happens every single
Yeah,
game.
every time.
We're not gonna worry about those other 19 times it didn't work.
I'm gonna play 100 games, get 5 matches that it looks like it works every time.
That's right. So we got a macro game here, which I think is what Tosh wants, and maybe I'm giving Tosh too much credit, but if Tatanka is running these kinds of styles, I mean, Tatanka's deck to me just kind of says, you know, I want to chill out, I want to get to 2 or 3 bases. I don't know if I'm giving Tosh too much credit, but if he knows that's kind of Tatanka's style, he's like, cool, Tatanka's not going to be aggressive on 1 to 2 bases, so I'll just be super greedy, and I'll get all the good tier 3 units, because I know Tatanka's not going to do a big Chameleon or Skunk Rush or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think you can give Tosh too much credit.
I mean, he does probably play and stream more than, like, anybody.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think we have a really awesome blend of... for, like, the size of the community, I think we have a lot of really awesome streamers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Tosh is always putting in work. Of course, Tiki Gray's hopping on and streaming. Kipo covering King of the Hill. You know, obviously Tandor is probably the biggest newcomer in the scene, I think. He's like Delthius 2.0, man. He's like a caster guy. He you know, he's great. I like him a lot.
Yeah, Tandor is awesome. I really appreciate him stepping onto the scene and bringing his style, because it is different. Everyone is different. I like every streamer for different reasons.
Right.
Tosh building every tier 3 at the same time while none of them are up. I love that.
Again, he's just being greedy. Like, how much has he scouted Tatanka? Has he seen? Okay, he's seen the double tier 3 from Tatanka, so he knows he's got time. And he's like, hey, in the same time that you're building 2 tier 3, I can build 4. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
why not? What are you gonna do about that?
Yeah. Okay, so Tatanka is starting to move in.
Alright, but he does have a minefield. Although that's not going to do too much to get to the tier 2 now. I think the mines, I think all of the explosive units, Toads and Mines, had their single target damage reduced in this patch. I kind of like that in the case of Mines, because I never really liked losing a Fox to 2 Mines. I think it should at least be like 3 or 4 Mines.
I've never liked it, but at the same time, it was a really cool counterplay, but at the same time, now it's like, give the Fox a break, man. You know, like, come on. The Fox isn't even, like, a meta unit right now, so yeah. But when the Fox is, like, super strong, I think it's kind of cool, you know? It depends on a lot of things. Like, are the mines just good in general, or are you taking mines specifically to counter my Fox? But outside of that, Tatanka is pushing in really hard here. Is Tosh gonna have enough time? He's trying. He's backed into a corner, just waiting on all his tier 3 to get up, and then finally here, he took a lot of damage. But he's still got 2 operational bases. Honestly, didn't take as much damage as I thought previously. Like, the minefield slowed him down a lot. He lost, some Warrens there? I mean, he lost his main base that was on the way out anyways. His important bases are still pretty healthy.
Yeah, and he has all of his tier 3 up now, so let's see if he can do some work with these.
Alright, Tatanka's got the high ground.
Yes, he does. We know what that means.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Tosh. He's coming in. There's a little bit of poison on these units, but not a whole lot. The Owl, low HP, but the Badger in the board getting the work done. Oh my god, are they going to live?
Oh my god.
It's so low! Oh! I was hoping it'd live on 1 HP for the height.
You know what it was? He stepped through a gas tile, and that reset the snake timer. He would have lived otherwise.
I did not know it worked like that.
Yeah, it lasts for 10 seconds, and when you stop taking damage, or not 10, 5 seconds, it does 10 damage per stack. When you take any damage whatsoever, it resets that 5-second timer. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you step on gas tile, even though I'll say the encounter basically is over, you can still end up losing your unit that otherwise would have survived the tags.
This time the tags are doing a really good job for Tatanka here, cleaning up a lot of these units. Only a couple Owls remain, and the 1 Badger, where is that Badger? Just hatched here, or spawned. coming in
gonna
to
put
try
him
to
in a
clean
good
it up.
position now.
Yeah.
As that Badger comes running in, he clears up the rest of Tatanka's tier 3 and snakes.
Yeah, that was very good. Tosh on the way for a comeback. Tatanka actually running out of steam here.
Yeah, he just wasn't ecoing through all those attacks. Meanwhile, Tosh was. He had the confidence to keep ecoing.
Yeah, Tatanka was very confident in another direction where he was just going to end the game and didn't need to worry about it.
That Badger's dead. He's got to get the damage done. Pretty good. I don't know. For a second there, I thought Tosh for sure was going to come back and swing the round because he just has the crazy eco over Tatanka right now. But Tatanka also has 6 snakes worth of warning, and 4 of them are about to be out.
Yeah, and these are exactly the units that you're going to want against the type of army that Tosh has put together here. A handful of snakes can do everything you need it to. They can take out the tier 3, they can knock out the gristmills pretty effectively, but Tatanka's only got 45 seconds. I think maybe he was trying to do Metal Gear Solid Snake move here and try to take out those gristmills, but it's not going to work.
Seals his fate. There's too many mice. The snakes aren't good enough against mice.
There it is, Tosh!
Ooh.
Taking down one of the best players with 4 tier 3s.
Love to see it. I mean, you called it. He knew that Tatanka was going to play safe, and he just capitalized on that.
Alright, so if anybody's just tuning in, what's up? We're just kind of hanging out, casting some games. I do want to touch base again on TNT Champions 2021.2. You got 5 days left to sign up. We've actually got a lot of sign-ups so far. Let me link that again in the chat. I'm sure most of y'all watching this. I'll put that on the YouTube VOD as well. And yeah, so there's that Discord. And you can sign up in the Discord just by going to the sign-up channel and smashing that check mark. But yeah, we're going to have a pretty long Swiss season this time around. That's going to be happening through September. And then we're doing GSL-style groups again, right?
Yeah, we're doing some GSL-style groups. Depending on division size, there will either be 1 round of GSL or 2, and then we will go into a semi-finals/finals bracket. It's looking like we do have enough signups to do 2 GSL rounds. Either way.
Nice.
So,
so real quick, going through this list. Sassy Marquez, the first one to respond, it looks like, or last. I'm not sure the order here.
I think it mixes them up.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually been using that to input names into the challenge.
Yeah.
And yeah, every time Discord closes, it just mixes them all up. So I have to like figure it out. Okay.
I'm actually seeing some names that are hyping me up here. You got Mishi signed up. Hit that button. We got Satoros and Trumpet, of course. Nice. Tiki, Kerpa, Kipo, QQ is gonna play. Nice. Lego Man. We got Tatanka, of course. Palawan. Oh, Zen. I love Zen's playstyle, man. He is one of the more entertaining dudes to watch play. Like,
Zen?
Yeah, Zensej or.
Oh, Zhenjej.
Yeah. My pronunciation's not so good, but I mean, he's always trying to do crazy stuff like slam toads into gristmills and.
Oh yeah, I think that was the first time I saw that happen. Was Zhenjej playing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cactus, actually pretty good player. Newer guy, but he was in the Clan Wars. I think was the first event Cactus played in. I could be wrong. But that's when I remember. I think when we did the Clan Wars that Kipo put together, which also was another event that really kind of prioritized trying to help new players get involved. We've got Tandor, we got Pigeon Rush. We saw Rush play earlier against Melvin. Big Pimpin' Tosh, Protocam. That's another hype name.
I'd love to see Protocam and stuff. He used to be my nemesis.
Yeah, dude, Protocam was phenomenal for a really long time. Very aggressive player. Would do a lot of crazy stuff like mole rushes or proxy mill kind of plays. R22, okay. Of course, Melvin, the runner-up from last year. Lupus is in, nice. We got Meek, the champ. Ratan. Leon, Night Slayer. Night Slayer is on my clickbait video. Night Slayer versus Big Pimpin' Tosh.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that would be a very entertaining game. Someone new just clicked, Swifty.
Oh, Swifty is in. All right, that's
Yeah.
super hype, man. Swifty, old school, great. Kind of back in the era of like Chip from Space and Mishi and all them. We got that's Gorgas, isn't it? The Jorn Lessie.
Yeah, Jorn Lessie's Gorgas.
Yeah,
or Jacket Man, if you recall, back in the day.
And then yeah, Swifty, hype for Swifty, man. Really cool to see some of these old players come out of the woodworks and join up and play with us. It's gonna be a fun event. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. I might want to honestly like try to do some practice matches with people. I think that'd be a fun event. Easy stream to do or something. You know, hop on and just kind of be like, all right, let's get the rust off. You know, me and Swifty play some games, or me and Lego or something. You never know.
That's a good way to get the rust free.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, keep the signups coming, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you do not want to play, at least check out the coverage. I'm sure everybody's gonna be casting this thing, right?
Oh yeah, I think there's a little caster channel in the Discord for the champions.
Yeah.
And there's been some activity. People hype, ready to do some casting.
Yeah, you got me, you got Tandor, you got Kipo, you got Tiki, all committing, but I'm sure we could twist some arms of guys like Jet Erickson or maybe even Strawberry. I saw him lurking earlier. That'd be fun. I love to cast with some of those. I actually really like casting with Jet. I like his style a lot. I mean, he's a goofball, he's a memer too, you know, but I think he does a good job of like cleaning up and being like a professional style caster when he wants to, if that makes sense. And I think he's really good at it. But anyways, let's keep doing some more replays, guys. Match number 4, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, spawning in the bottom left, we've got Erlu. And over in the top right, his opponent, this guy. Now, I always remember, I think it was a TNT championship. I'm not sure which one it was, but Erlu did the reverse sweep on the gentleman.
That's right.
And ended up winning. And he even ended up winning, like, I think it was the final match where they were both tied up, either 3-3 or 4-4 if it was best of 7 or best of 9. And he had the map, Erlu had the map with 1 less mill on it. And it went to, like, really late game. You know what I'm saying? Like on Gent's side, he had like 5 and Erlu had 4 or whatever. And Erlu Erlu still won the game, which was like incredible to me.
That whole series, like I'm pretty sure if you planned out what was going to happen in the games, that's probably something along the lines of what you come up with. That was just a perfect story.
Yeah. That like you couldn't write a better anime plot, you know. It was just 2 powerhouses, and the gentleman just, I mean, he was the favorite too. I mean, it's the gentleman. Oh, see, this is what I was talking about. I was talking about this earlier.
His own medicine.
Erlu, it was the first one that I saw really start doing this to people, because it was very, very meta to go 8 farm mill like this just to get that economy going a little faster. And there's nothing you can do. Erlu cannot do anything about this. And he can't even cancel the mill or anything. So this guy's actually going to keep committing here and go for the throat.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to. Like, he already messed up Erlu's build order so hard.
He's going to go in, like, those forward warrens, not a great idea in this position.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. I was just talking about how Erlu kind of figured that out, and then this guy does it to him.
Yeah, those mines are good though. Like, if Arlu survives this, any other player should lose here.
Well, hang on. He's got like 6 or 7 moles. I think that's enough to just go right-click the mill.
I don't know. I think
Squirrels are
Arlu
coming out.
might have just enough DPS.
Yeah,
just enough DPS.
I think if he had 9 moles, he probably would have got it done. A couple of those moles hit like some mines there. Then yeah, the squirrels started coming out of the back. So
yeah, this guy's gonna need some reinforcements built now. He has no army.
Yeah, Erlu very smartly going to go in and try to punish how hard this guy just committed here.
He does have moles to tank.
Yeah. They're doing a good job at it. I mean, obviously the moles aren't going to be able to do much damage here, but the pig handguns cannot be underestimated.
So where are we at? I feel like the game in a weird sort of way is almost equalized.
Yeah, I feel like this guy overcommitted there. It's hard to say, because if he had just a few more moles, like, I can't really blame him, I guess, right? Because a few more moles, he would have just won.
Yeah.
But I think all he had to do was build that one mill and deny, or I'm sorry, the one more and deny the mill, you know? But he ended up deciding to just try to end the game there, which made things kind of even out, and now we're just in a little bit of a weird spot. Airlu trying to get ahead on economy and on tech. Let's see if this guy will let him do it.
Yeah, I think he is getting away with it, because this guy was in a game-winning position if he hadn't lost basically all of his moles there. Oh my goodness.
No, don't
no.
path the wrong
No.
way. Oh, whoo! I did not see
I
their
think
little their little canyon there. They were able to walk through it. Did Airlu see it? It was so sneaky, man.
Airlu would have been able to see that on the minimap.
Yeah.
Let's see if he spotted it.
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. Oh,
Oh,
my gosh.
and the flank
Oh my
attack.
gosh.
Oh, this is so big brain. All right,
His
come on,
squirrels
rally
didn't
the
get far
bulls.
enough away,
Yes. Yeah, Airlu, he went in a little bit. Oh no, he needs to bring him up. Yeah. Oh my god. Gonna get the mill, but he lost like everything to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's gonna get the tier. Yeah, just let him. Yeah, just might as well take out many warrens as you can. Oh, that was devastating damage, but
My goodness.
can Airlu counterattack and get something done? Actually, I don't think so.
Man.
This is that was really cool. I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was hoping for, given the beginning of this game. Oh my gosh, this guy, that was a crazy move.
All right, Airlu not down and out though. Trying to recover here. He's got a couple cams. Can maybe do some globe-trottering of his own with those. You know, trying to take out a warren here or there or something. But just gonna move across the map. No snakes just yet.
Arlu's in a really tough spot. The eco's bad, but although
Well, to be fair, this guy never took the second base. Yeah, we just hit that 5-minute mark. I can't believe it's only 5 minutes in. So much stuff has happened.
It's crazy. But Arlu has the chameleons, which cannot be counted out. Those are really strong, especially in this kind of situation where the only thing to hit them really is the squirrels.
Yeah. But this guy's really tight-packed at the moment. Like, there aren't really those outlier warrens that are easy for the cam to try to snipe or anything like that. Just yet. Airlu moving in, though. He's got the snake in the back. Good tanking on the cam. And the cams are going to live. Nice timing on the pullback, but he's going to lose a lot of tier 1 on the... Oh, man! This guy with the reveal. Picking up those cams.
The danger of cams.
That was total Kappa Poggers there.
Yeah. Oh. Arlu was actually in a pretty okay spot, but losing those cams.
Man, like doing this. So if you're a newer player, chameleons are invisible, and your commander has to stop and stand still to reveal them. And this guy kind of predicted where the chameleons were going to be on the retreat path, moved his commander in, stood still, and got that invisibility reveal. Which was huge because those chameleons were kind of what was keeping Airlu alive, you know, being able to tank with them and keep them okay. This guy's just gonna come in. Yeah, this might be it.
Arlu's micro is so good though. Like, how much damage have the skunks done?
Oh yeah, it's insane.
Until, yeah, for that first little bit, they hadn't done nearly anything.
But you can't underestimate this guy's skunk micro either. I mean, we literally named the skunk push after him.
That is very true. Arlu consolidating, selling some mines on the periphery, just trying to get an army to actually stop this guy, get some tempo.
Man, where are we at when the dust is settled? Looked like Airlu just invested in a lot more farms here. Both players have their skunks up and running. And, man, I can't believe this is actually a little bit even here.
Arlu's ahead.
Yeah, Airlu, well, kinda. He doesn't have warrens, right?
Yeah, that's a problem, but...
Like, he's got 6 squirrels. Okay, now he's starting to build some warrens. This guy is catching up on the economy. It's very close, man. It's very, very close.
Arlu needs a third base. Needs to be thinking about that.
It's interesting. He's kind of posturing his units out in the field, so I'm not so sure if he. Oh wait, this guy sold his skunks.
He's only a small squirrel. Arlu can definitely punish.
Did he not have skunks, or did he sell them?
He sold them.
Yeah.
He sold them to get the food to build all of these farms. Ooh, don't lose
Oh my
skunks.
god! And is he actually gonna hold this off with no skunks? He's coming in. He needs to get these finish offs on the skunks. They're gonna get slowed down by the water.
They're gonna get sniped.
Oh my god, that might be it.
Oh my gosh, that might be it. We keep saying that. We keep saying that might be it, and then it's not it.
Cams from Araloo seems
that's good.
Interesting. You think so? It's gonna take so long for him to get here.
Oh well, building them now I don't think is good, but to have them would be good. I don't understand how Arlu can hold this.
I think he needed like some desperation squirrel warrens, you know. But even still, like if he did go squirrels,
he might have given up. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't.
What a game.
Is that the skunk doesn't pop? Oh, it does! Oh my gosh.
Araloo!
Last second.
One skunk and one dream. One skunk for a dunk.
That skunk got out of that warren in the last second. One mole was whacking it, and I was just watching the timer, and I thought that skunk did not get out, but it popped just in time.
You gotta be kidding me.
That was on a knife edge.
Araloo's still alive, but for how much longer is the question. He's just got a skunk and a dream here, pretty much. His economy is in shambles. There's so many moles coming out from this guy with these squirrels. Should be able to target down this mill if he chooses to. And that.
Does this guy think this is the last mill? Because it's not.
He actually has seen the other one, but it might as well be, because now Araloo's got no eco. And yeah, I think we're wrapping it up here. As the 8th time I've said that this game.
This is incredible. This is over. Okay.
Yeah. That was really great. Thank you for the submission. That one was that was a good one.
That's like I gotta save that one. That's
yeah,
so
that was
good.
fantastic.
That's like remember that Arlu gent game where they were basically going back and forth with this was mole meta, squirrel, mole, skunk, or something like that. I think Arlu had the moles and Jen didn't, and they were just the margins were just so tight as they fought each other, and it came down to something like 2 farms each or something like that. Crazy.
It's crazy when you have the matches like that where it's like literally one squirrel wins the game, you know, when everything is said and done. Because I think that's what makes Tooth and Tail so interesting on like a high level is the way the economies work in this game, you know? Like, you can power up to that death ball, but when you guys go have that slap fight and it doesn't end, you can't afford another death ball. Like, that's just not the way economies work. You gotta sell things off. It's almost like you have this big wave that we're spiking up to and then going back down once all of a sudden your second and third bases are drying up, and then you get these crazy situations where it's like one skunk against the world, you know?
Yeah, it's like the wars are fought with sticks and guns, then nukes and sticks.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. All right, we're gonna change paces here, go into probably a little bit more of a silly match here with some free-for-alls. Are you ready for this one?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it's thinking. It's thinking real hard. You can do it, Tooth and Tail. Alright, here we go. Who we got here? We got Mr. Ziggy, one of my favorite free-for-all players. We've got R22, we got Big Pimpintosh, and we've got this guy. Alright, lots of defense here. Barbed Wire kind of got nerfed pretty hard. You know, I'll say it. I'm happy.
I'm happy too, to be honest.
I never liked Barbed Wire anyways. Let's be real.
Barbed Wire was frustrating.
Take a stand, chat. Take a stand. It is so cost effective for what it could do, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, just the tankiness of Barbed Wire for the food cost. I was saying for such a long time, like, that's one of the... I'm like the guy who complains about HP per food, I think. 'Cause I was complaining about it with the moles, I was complaining about it with the wire.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well,
it's
also,
good, but
just in theory crafting of the game, like, efficiencies, you know, like, 1 chameleon should be able to kill 3 lizards, or 3 squirrels, and live, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And, oh, look at this! Double backstabbing these! Wow. Wow.
I wasn't even...
I was watching this, but I thought they were both, like, building up for each other, but no, Ziggy and Tosh over here, in their back alley Discord,
That's
you know,
so rude.
sharpening their razor blades, just staring at this guy, like, all right, let's get him, brother. Yeah, they just killed him.
Now it's a 3-person free-for-all.
GG reported. That was a bastard move, man. Yeah, I mean, we were just, like, chatting about unit efficiency. I thought Tosh and Ziggy were just kind of building up to slam each other. I don't know. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until it was too late.
We were talking about efficiency at the wrong time. And Ziggy's doing it for R22 because all he has is defenses in the chameleon. Oh my gosh, R22 doesn't have squirrels or lizards. Wait! Well, look, what is R22's comp? Oh my gosh, I love it.
It is an amazing comp. It is
Yeah.
Cam Woof, and then everything else is just getting there. Right?
I'm paying no attention. No one has squirrels or lizards. It's all mole and either pigeon or toad.
So you got your moles, you got your Chad toads. No lizards, no Andy squirrels. Let's see, you got the barbed wire nice and tight here on the one base. Does have a fox in the deck, so curious if we will see that, but...
Gosh, he's still going for moles on the high ground. R22 just needs to leave his chameleons there.
Alright, 12 toads coming out of Tosh. 15, let's go.
Oh boy, he's gonna run in. No, can you still run into mills with toads? I mean, their single target damage was nerfed, so probably not.
You probably... Well, it used to be 9, I think. I think Zen gave me that lesson.
I think it was 12.
What's that?
I think it was 12. Are you sure it's 9? That seems low.
I could be wrong. I think it was 9.
Okay.
I think we figured that out.
That is efficient.
Yeah,
Especially if there's some farms on it.
But not anymore. That was previous patch. That was before the single target. It was closer to 9 than 12. Yeah, Tosh is backing me up.
Okay.
But now...
I think I'm thinking 12 because you needed to account for some getting shot.
Right. I think now you're probably at like 12. 12 or 15
I think it's lower than that.
Let's
or
see.
higher than that, rather.
Come on, Tosh! Show us! Kill that mill! We need to know!
I don't think Tosh is going to be able to.
I don't think he wants to. Like, there's no reason
Yeah,
to
and there's
do
no
it.
farms on it. He's just going to rebuild immediately. You know, it would be cool is getting it down to a sliver of hit points left and then leaving it. Like, oh, yes, you can no longer use this mill, because as soon as you start building farms, I'm going to ninja it, because it only has 20 hit points left.
You remember this guy was in this game?
I forgot about that, to be honest. Oh my gosh, Tosh stole this guy's. That is Tosh, maximum BM.
This is actually a pretty balanced free-for-all map, too.
It really is, yeah, I like... Oh, that wasn't ideal.
Ooh, that hurts me deep inside.
I must be ahead of you, one second.
It's 11 toads hitting a chameleon.
Yeah, that was rough. That's something that can happen now with toads being nerfed single target damage. R22 and Tosh are fighting. It was just an alliance of convenience. They're not like...
Siggy moving in with some cams over here. Ooh, gonna run into the enemy cams though. Gonna get slaughtered. Actually not too bad. Losing a cam and maybe a pigeon.
Oh, toads still deal 16 single target damage to structures, which means... mental math. How many toads is that?
For what, for 9?
10? I think
How much
that's
HP
10.
does a gristmill have?
150?
150? Yeah, so 9, right? What'd you say, 16?
I said 10 because it's a little...
16
times
times
damage.
9 is 144. So 10.
Yeah, so you need 10.
Doing math on stream, very brave.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Well, I get paid to do math though, so...
Oh, okay.
I should be able to, hopefully. Alright, Fox here. From Ziggy. Got the turrets, got the cams. These are not things that foxes like to deal with. That's a lot of cams at R22. just gonna come over and overwhelm here. Ziggy's not in position to micro this fox. That is a dead fox. And dead most of the chameleons here as well.
That's rough. Chameleon versus chameleon is such a swingy fight. There's just so much variability.
Yeah, it's all about surface area, you know?
It really is. Yeah.
That's a lot of toads here.
The AoE's still good.
Yeah, you need to get those right connections, though.
Yeah, but chameleons, they have a tendency to get pretty tight in their balls.
Yeah. Lots of moles coming in from Tosh to, I like how he's got all these mines here, just kind of an investment to know if his opponent's sneaky chameleons or foxes or what have you are trying to backstab him.
I mean, he can afford, how much is 480 food worth of mines? Because he's got 15 farms. The only one even close is Ziggy with 11 right now. R22, he's got the scariest army, I'd say, but he also has the least eco.
Yeah, he needs to get going on that second base, or he needs to utilize this army to deal some damage to the enemies here. He's doing a good job of kind of buffering. He's stuck in the middle a little bit. Not necessarily if you look at the map, but just the way that the players have been pathing. You know, everyone's kind of like heading towards that 9 o'clock, so R22's taking some punches from Ziggy and then taking the punches from Tosh. And
yeah, everyone's kind of avoiding what was this guy's side of the map, I think. Everyone's just kind of focusing on the leftmost regions, which is leaving Tosh to just get another mill, 16 farms right now, and he's building another. Jeez. Yeah, he's just taking over the top right section.
Tosh is just taking advantage of the fact that R22 and Ziggy are a little bit closer to one another. He's like, fine, I'll sit back, I'll macro up, you know? Everything's okay. R22 moving out with his little mole brigade, but running into some mines and back up for now.
I think he got value. I mean, but the amount of value he has to get against Tosh is insane. He could literally let Tosh run all 15 toads into his chameleon ball, build him up, do it again, and Tosh would still have more money than R22.
I'd love to see R22 take this third and like invest in some balloons, you know? I mean, what can hit balloons?
Wait. There isn't anything that can hit balloons
There's
on
nothing.
any team.
There is nothing anywhere.
All of these comps, nothing can hit balloons. I'm sensing an issue.
He could, you know, try to invest in some balloons. Let Ziggy and Tosh, therefore, kind of have to avoid him. And then sit back and get out his wolf and, you know, try to make things happen. Here we go,
I don't know. Ooh.
Ziggy's thinking about it.
I think they're just posturing. I don't know that they're actually going to fight.
I do like the pigeons in here. I feel like pigeons are a little bit underestimated, you know?
Yeah, well, there are toads, but, oh my gosh.
Is it enough AoE though?
Not really. There's too many pigeons healing up the chameleons as they're tanking the hits, and then they're getting healed before the next toad even hits.
Yeah, R22 just kind of clearing out some mines, stepping back, rinsing and repeating. Even without the pigeons, you do get that extra regeneration on your reptilian units here. R22 even taking advantage of the water to expedite that process even quicker.
Yeah, reptilians in the water are crazy. He heals so fast. Like, who needs pigeons, right?
17 farms, though. I mean, this might just be a Walmart situation we find ourselves in. You know, I mean, Tosh just might be too big to fail here.
The Walmart situation. I like that.
You know, like,
everyone's clearing his mines, and he just has to keep rebuilding them.
Ziggy's making these quality bicycles down here, but he's selling them for like $300. Tosh is like, look, man, here's a bike. You know, it's fine, but it's $40. What's up?
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna compete?
You can't do it. He's being so cost ineffective with these toads, but he just doesn't care. He's got 16 farms.
Ziggy building. He's not gonna. Yeah, no way. He's not gonna get it.
I mean, can R22 really hold this base?
I'm inclined to say he can, just because of the army he has.
Well, if he starts building balloons, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe he's not supposed to. Maybe he took it, but it's BM to do that based
Oh,
on
yeah.
what the rules they've set forth.
Yeah, there's obviously some kind of handshake
something going
rules
on,
here. Yeah, no squirrels or lizards or what have you.
Yeah, no squirrels, lizards, and then, well, in theory you could take falcons, right? But since
Yeah.
nothing is there to shoot,
But I don't think falcons are that great against balloons. I mean, it really depends on the numbers, I guess. But
not good against balloons, but
yeah.
there would be something that can shoot air.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying that, like, the balloons are invincible. Oh, he's building them.
You remember James? Like, James used to be a big proponent of the balloons on 2 bases. You remember that? He would build like the single balloon, and then he would go into his bore.
Yeah.
I think balloons are a little bit underused, but I think balloons are strongest in a tier 2 meta, and right now we're kind of more in a tier 1 meta, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know if we're in a tier 1 meta. It kind of feels like we're in a blend of tier 3, tier 1. And I feel like everything's strong. At every point in the game you can lose if you mess up.
Right.
It's not like tier 1's so strong that the games always end in the tier 1 stage.
You know, these turrets actually getting so much work done because the chameleons can kind of cover the surface of it. But Ziggy's coming in here. I mean, those turrets were firing like the whole engagement. Oh, Tosh!
Every fox died.
He still got one in the back.
Well,
I think this is a brand new one, though.
The two that were fighting, they both died. That is some.
Tosh with the pincer there. Tosh has got that boar now, though.
New boars.
Boars and toads, baby. Let's go. Now he just needs skunk, and he's got all the AoE. Alright, denies that base from R22. R22 is getting a little claustrophobic over here. He can't really get a third base up and running, which is a shame because he's been playing like super well all game long. He's just gonna end up running dry here soon. Ooh, these foxes though, can they actually get the hits on the boars? There's so many kind of trash units here for the fox to hit. The moles, the toads. They really need to get those shots on the board. They try to run around, but there's so many mines here. This mine's gonna get it. Watch this. Slow motion, bam. Tosh is playing the late game investment with those mines there. Finally paid off.
Yeah, all this time they've been running trash units into the mines to clear them and then heal up the damage.
You know what's funny is if Tosh didn't have all these mines here, I think Ziggy could have wiggled his fox out. Like, he was starting to, try that. But here's another big engagement.
Yeah, he lost one fox to just the mines, and then the other ultimately couldn't escape because of them. I think the mines really did their job.
I think Tosh is starting to clean this up. Ziggy getting a little bit worried if he can actually go toe-to-toe with Tosh's army. Gonna instead try to snipe these mills before Tosh returns the favor. Let's see if he can get it done. Tosh, however, senses that's going on and is coming back to try to prevent it. No, changes his mind. We're at a base race now. Everyone's desperate. R22's got a big bank here. Could use on a lot of moles.
Where is he going to go?
Tosh only has these 2 mills left. Oh, but Ziggy's army's getting caught by Tosh. No, okay, he gets out of there. This is so weird. R22.
I have no idea what's happening.
We're just in desperation mode, man. Tosh is just too strong, and everyone's trying to do what they can to deal damage without fighting Tosh.
Ziggy doesn't have any extra mills.
Ziggy's starving too. He doesn't have the money to even build a mill, so Ziggy is not long for this world.
Tosh is starving too.
Oh my gosh. What if R22 wins this?
He has 1 farm. He needs to.
Alright, Ziggy's out now. So it's just R22 left.
R22 with moles.
Oh, he's out of money. Okay, he's selling these up.
No, he has locked.
Yeah. Alright, Tosh is no longer starving. But there's 3 targets that...
How's Tosh not? Oh, there's a...
Oh no! Right on top of the minefield, so Tosh sees this exactly. There's just 1 more mill for Tosh to take out to win this game, the bottom.
Those moles aren't getting up in time.
Come on,
Okay,
R22. What do you got? $520 in 20 seconds. I think this is gonna be it. I think Tosh is done and he's moving his moles in to seal the deal. What a fun match.
This was crazy. Yeah, he can't get the farm up. Oh man, that was awesome.
GG.
GG, Tosh. Holy moly. I kind of felt like Tosh was in a really dominant spot just because of how much eco he had for so long.
Yeah. But he was so cost ineffective with those toads, but...
Yeah, I was like...
It didn't
that pained me, but I guess it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Captain Extremis versus Chaotic Ronin.
Yeah, so this is a couple new players here. So I'm excited to watch these.
Should we do 7 first since they're in order?
Oh yeah, did I mess that up? It looks like I messed it up. Yeah, let's go to 7 first.
Okay. Little best of 2 they did.
Yeah, just a couple fun matches here. I think these are some newer players. So let's check it out. Going into match number 7 here?
Yep.
Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Tosh said I wanted to win with just Toad's mole, but I wasn't allowed. Yeah, that was, you definitely were not allowed.
We got Captain Extremis in the bottom right, and then Chaotic Ronin over on the left. Okay, so these are some cool decks. I like
the decks.
Chaotic is trying to do here. But this, again, this is what I was bringing up earlier with the fox and the snake. Like, as much as I want it to work, because the snake is so strong, you know? Like, you want to take the snake when you can. I don't think it's the right unit to pair with the fox. I think with the fox, you're probably better off with Falcon, right? Because the Falcon will eventually kind of outscale the snake if we get there, and you don't have to babysit your Falcons. And you got your fox for like that strong mid game. I'm just trying to think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Falcon and Fox both have a drop in power when you build them. Weirdly enough, it's like if they are building good combat units and you are not, if you're building ferrets or foxes, then I'm not saying that you're doomed. It's just you need to be aware that you have a deficit in that department and you need to play accordingly.
Yeah, I think you would need, like, my modern fox approach would probably be something like lizard, pigeon, skunk, falcon, fox, turret. And you start off with like lizard, skunk, pigeon, you know, to have that like powerful early comp. And then you go into the fox, and then eventually your falcons are your scale unit for the late game. That could work, maybe.
Well, I don't think it matters what else you pick, because you have lizards in your comp, so you're good to go.
Do you think at the so we did see Chaotic go for a 5-farm Warren there. Captain looked like he scattered it out, and no one decided to commit here. Chaotic building some turrets here to defend up on one base. Now these are newer players, so I don't want to. I try not to be like overly critical, but just as like a tip, you typically don't want to do this kind of thing, like invest in turrets really early on for a couple of reasons, because these turrets could be like a second base getting going, and you can build your turrets later. But also turrets build like so fast, man. Like when you sniff out an attack, you can oftentimes make it home and build some emergency turrets, like right when you need them.
Yeah, and that's obviously the best thing to do, because every second that 60 food is devoted into turrets in place of pigs, you're effectively losing 1 food per second per turret, right? So what you would ideally do is build your turrets right when you feel like an attack is coming, which does take some game sense and some reading of the other player's actions. So I can completely understand when you're new, just playing defensively, that is fine. But I also think that if you're new, take risks. Like, lose the game because you messed up, but you'll learn faster from that than from playing defensively.
Yep. Let's see what Captain wants to do. Building up some snakes, and snakes do a good ferret impression, so it makes sense. You know, Captain can try to use some micro here and take out these turrets.
A ferret impression, I like that, but there is high ground. That's tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
And he's
So,
got lizards. It's hard to poke with the shorter range of a snake when your opponent has lizards.
another thing I want to see, I'm curious if it is good gameplay or not, is like, imagine you know you're up against somebody who's running around with lizards and stuff, just building like a turret or two to cover a flank, you know? Like, yeah, the lizards might get through those turrets anyways, but it'll give you extra time to respond. That way, when the lizards dive in, they gotta kill the turrets before they get to your bacon, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, good toad connections there. Cleaning up all those lizards pretty nicely. And these snakes are gonna get the poison on the skunks. Ronan trying to retreat, but it's too late. Good engagement there for the captain. Now he's considering if he wants to go push into these turrets or not.
I think that's risky, pushing into this turret wall.
He's gotta keep his commander alive. That's an easy way for this to go sour really quick. But you're right, I mean, the high ground there, you gotta keep your commander up on that high ground to get vision. He doesn't have any pigeons or flying units or anything to help.
Interesting dynamic is that Chaotic with the snake is actually able to tag his opponent's commander, which is probably the best target given that otherwise there's no vision and no control.
Yeah.
So... But the micro for that's hard. You gotta like pull it back so that the commander's the only thing that's in range, because if there's any units that's in range, the snake will automatically target those instead.
Right. So we see the Badger on the way. Both players getting the second base up and running. 5-minute mark came and went, so we're half fallowed on the first bases. And let's see what Ronan's thinking. He wants to eventually get out of Fox. He probably wants to put a balloon or something in a position that's kind of threatening and defending at the same time. Oh, Captain! 9 toads trying to come around for the hit, but this turret's in the way. Okay, only loses 2 toads to take out that turret. That was cost effective. I get some alright trades there.
Yeah, that was alright. He killed a decent amount of lizards.
Yeah.
Ronan can't really supply those lizards. I like that Captain is leveraging their dominant position to build this Badger, but they just don't seem to have the food for it right now. They should probably sell a snake or something.
Yeah, it looked like Captain was thinking about selling stuff there to try to get out that Badger. But just going to let it roll for the moment. Hope to save up the 180 food the old-fashioned way. But this could be a problem if you go for that route and then all of a sudden Ronan does something like this, moves up his units, and then now you got to rebuild toads, you got to rebuild some lizards. And that's just slowing down your Badger more and more.
Yeah, that's another issue. When he moved in with the toads, all the food's been going to rebuilding all those toads right now.
I like what Ronan tried to do there. I just think he used the wrong unit to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
also, the water makes it impossible to retreat.
Yeah, like what that skunk just did, it really should have been a chameleon or a snake doing that.
Yeah.
Alright. Captain did finally get the Badger up and running, and is starting to break through here. These snakes getting on top of the Warrens. Ronan not in a good spot. Really needs... This is another situation where Tier 1 Warrens are so important, you know. Just like cheap reinforcements now.
Yeah. He's got 240 food worth sitting around when he could be producing more lizards.
Yeah, and that's probably another piece of advice to newer players is, like, don't be afraid to sell your stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that really, at the high level, I think that's some mechanics we see, like, define games, win games, is knowing, all right, I can't have the Tier 2 right now, I need the Tier 1, or I can't afford, I'm trying to hit a timing with my boar, so I gotta make sure, you know, it's never supply blocked, I gotta sell off a Squirrel Warren to get the boar going, you know, that kind of stuff. What do you think of squirrels nowadays? Do you think lizards are just dominant?
Lizards are good. I think that squirrels still have their place. They defend, whereas lizards... I mean, people act like lizards are the end-all, but they still can't defend, really. So,
right.
If you're not on the map, if you don't have a map that allows your lizards to be on the map threatening some counter aggression, if your opponent ever moves out, then you might just be in a situation where they're forced to defend your mill, and that is bad. They are not ideal in that position.
Toads seem really cost-effective at dealing with turrets, to be honest.
Yeah. If they still deal the same damage to structures, that means Toads are really good against buildings. Not so good against anything other than tier 1 and buildings now, but I think I actually like that position for them.
Yeah.
Because if you can hit buildings and units at the same time, that's really nice, because they stack, especially Warrens, they stack on top of each other.
I like how Captain used his toads to kind of create a path through the turrets for the Badger, but the snakes from Ronin just barely get the kill on that Badger, so not going to quite be a checkmate from Captain. Going to have to go home with his tail between his legs and rebuild and think about the next attack. But that was smart tactically,
So,
I feel like, you know, like using the toads first to get in there, blow up the turrets, and then bring in the Badger.
Yeah, I like the move. The only issue is, I think that's another situation where the mechanic of snake tags resetting on damage isn't necessarily super well known, because that Badger, when it got hit a final moment where it had more than 30 hit points and 3 snake tags, and then he walked it by the turret and it got tagged once, and I went, okay, well now it's dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, but I like that once you do know how it works, you can really identify the snake tags and you can know what's going to happen.
I think
There isn't
those
as much
snake
guesswork.
tags, don't they fall off faster if you're in your own territory? Or is that...
I don't think so.
Is that not true?
I think it's just 5 seconds. I think that there was an archaic time when I don't think they fell off unless you were in your own territory, which obviously was crazy. So it is not that way anymore.
Snakes have also gone through just a lot of changes.
Yeah,
they used
they
to be totally irrelevant. Like,
Yeah,
people
irrelevant.
did not use snakes for a very long time.
Irrelevant than OP, than in a good place. I think they're in a good place right now.
Yeah.
See, game's slowing down a bit. I think that's wise out of both of these players. They really need to.
Like,
some
I
way to
think
get an
Owl
edge.
Snake is still a very, very strong comp, but I think there are answers to it, right? Like, Skunk Falcon can probably deal with it. Have something on the floor to buffer for the mice, and you just gotta let the Falcons just slam everything down. Oh, 9 toads into a building! That's what we were looking for! Oh, it's so close! Yeah, it's 144 damage, and it's got 150 HP.
That's 2 lizard tags, or 3 now that it healed a little. 3. There we go.
So
Dead.
10 toads will do it.
10 toads would do it. Yep.
So 12 is a good number, because you can expect to lose like a couple to the pigs, you know, on the
If
way
there's
in.
pigs there, you
Yeah.
can expect to lose some.
Ooh, this attack from Ronin just getting cleaned up. And you know what? The game's actually kind of stabilized here. Both players on 6 farms. Ronin's only got 1 base left. Like, Captain's been kind of coming in with these moves, just like eliminating mills, you know? Keeping Ronin in like 1 spot here.
Definitely isolating their foe. I think that the map is also just generally better for Captain, though. Although maybe not.
I think
don't know,
Snake... Doesn't Snake Poison go away when your unit starts healing? Or is that wrong? Like natural healing from being in your territory? I'll have to ask Eel. I thought I remember something like that. Maybe I'm
I
thinking
think
of...
the heal timer, it's the same timer. The poisons function off of the clock for how long it's been since you last got his for you to heal, you know?
Yeah.
So, I think when the snake tag is set to expire from last damage, then you would be healing once the snake tag expires. If you're in your territory. If that makes any sense. Robin's explaining it.
Yeah.
Raven, he's knowledgeable on this. He says heal timer ticks regardless of territory. The healing portion has in-territory clause.
Gotcha.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's kind of like an out-of-combat ticker. But if you're in your territory, you're going to get healed.
Yes, so I guess it's like 5 seconds from... Heal timer, 5 seconds. On damage, it is reset. So that's basically like in combat. Once you're out of combat, everything drops. Snake tags, days, and then if you're in your territory and you're out of combat, or you're in water, you heal as well. So,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. We're learning stuff every day.
I know, man. Alright, here we go. Ronin Coming in, actually getting some
I like
good
this
damage
attack
done.
better. Ooh, the vision's rough though.
Yeah, needs to return the favor on killing some of these snakes. Gets one. Didn't
One
quite get the
down.
right
The other
tags
two
for
are
the
gonna live.
others. Yeah, that looks like it was kind of a last-ditch effort here from Ronan as Captain, still with a large army,
so.
still with a large economy, should be able to pull in and end this out, but being careful. That's another thing that kind of comes with experience, having that killer instinct, you know?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I know I can come in here and win, because Tooth and Tail is very swingy, and it is really easy to kind of throw a fight, and all of a sudden you've thrown the momentum you have back in the other player's realm.
I'm thinking about that game this guy had where earlier he did significant damage really early on, and then kind of threw it away when he just attacked when he probably shouldn't have. But like I didn't know it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
And I have all the vision in the world, so it can be really hard to identify those situations especially when you're in the match.
Yeah, Chip from Space reminds me of one of the players historically that, I mean, what an underdog comeback kind of guy. So Ronan actually starved out there, and Captain takes the match. But I can remember countless games where Chip was down like a significant amount, where we'd be casting, be like, yeah, I mean he's done, you know, but kind of baits in one bad engagement from the other guy where he's taking advantage of something because he's got defender's advantage, you know, or some high ground differential or something like that, and then all of a sudden, bam, coming back. It can definitely happen.
Yeah, it can. I wonder how Chip would do if he joined the tournament this season.
You should. I've seen him popping into Discord from time to time. But yeah, I haven't heard from him. We gotta let him and who was it? Arbuzz know about the 2v2 stuff. They always love coming in for that.
Yeah. Got a couple new people added to the tournament. Robin Lead and Coloru.
Nice. I like Coloru. He's a Fox bro.
Yeah, he is. Also loves the arty. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
get used.
We got a few more here. You want to keep going? Keep popping out? How you feeling? All right.
Yes, I'm good. I can do all these.
Okay.
I've got that youthful energy.
Let's get into match number 6 then, the second replay from Captain and Chaotic. 3, 2, 1, go. Spawning on the right, we've got Chaotic Ronin, and over on the left-hand side, Captain Extremis. I think Chaotic Ronin's deck looks really good this game. I like that. I think he's just got a... The boar is an interesting unit because it seems beginner-friendly, like, in theory. Because, you know, it's this big, fat chonker, does a good amount of damage, don't really have to control it too much, but it kind of isn't, right? Because the boar is at its best when you can hit those timings.
True. The boar is a strange unit because like the skill floor isn't too low, but the ceiling is also kind of high. It's like, well, I'd say midway in terms of the tier 3s. I think the easiest tier 3 is probably Wolf, because once you know how to target Wolf buff, it's kind of really easy to play Wolf.
I would argue the easiest is probably Owl, because it's like, you just kind of get far enough in the game and then build a few owls. And,
yeah, but surviving to getting the few owls.
True. That is true.
Like, building the first owl doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the third.
Right.
And
one owl isn't really that great.
Yeah, it's not that great. Like,
it actually can be if you're in small, if you kind of devolved, you know, back to the Stone Age, but you still got your owl alive.
Yeah.
You know? But I guess you could say that about any tier 3, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
If you're in a scrappy knife fight and you've got a tier 3, it's like, come on, man. Any of those.
Captain's doing the 7 farm double again. Looks like it worked out last time.
I like this map. It's nice, it's short and scrappy. I also really, it's a weird thing to say, but I kind of do like these maps that are a bit one-sided on mill placement, because I think that creates an exciting game. And it can be rough to be Captain. Oh, Captain's going to try to get this tier 2 Warren. Ooh, nicely done.
that value?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, it's good for timing, but the problem
It's good
is,
to confirm.
Chaotic may be able to counterattack, but he's actually not. Not gonna have the time.
Goes a long way. Yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna have the time. Oh, Captain's building a wolf.
Ooh, losing the commander there. Oh, but Ronin's units kind of get the better start, but they can't see up there.
High
Oh
ground.
no!
Oh, that's disastrous.
Oh man, poor Ronin. Dude, losing your commander like that just always.
So painful.
It's so It's the worst thing in Tooth and Tail, man. Like Ronin would have been fine there. At the very least, it would have traded evenly, you know. But it's like losing your commander like that. It's like when you're riding your bike on campus and you see like your crush right next to you, you know. So you're trying to look cool with your hair in the wind, and then you just like hit a rock and just face plant off your bicycle. Like that's exactly what it's like.
What it's like. It's as embarrassing too.
Yeah.
Especially when you should know better. It's like, but everyone makes that error. Like.
Yeah, even top level players, you'll see
Yeah.
that happen all the time. What always kills me, like the only thing I get salty about is snake tags on my commander, dude. Because I won't calculate it. It's my own fault, but I've had a lot of games against like really good players where I'm going toe to toe, man. You know, I got a broken nose, but I ain't heard no bell yet. You know, we're going at it, and then my commander gets like 10 stacks of poison and dies, and my army dies, and that's it.
Yeah, but that's another thing I like about this game actually is that it can definitely feel like it's very close until it isn't, and so you think, oh wow, I was like, you know, I could have won at any moment, but really that's kind of how it goes. Every game is like until there's a decisive moment, you really could win at any time. But the thing, like, what makes players better than others is the ability to capitalize on those decisive moments and to create them in your opponent. Like a lot of people say that, like playing against Arlu, it's like you play worse than you normally would.
Captain trying to move in here with some buffed up squirrels. We're going to retreat back to the wire. And yeah, I think that's also what defines a high level player is knowing when to capitalize, knowing when you have that slight advantage. And that is just from raw experience. You know, the guys that grind out on the ladder all the time really have that killer instinct sense. And you can see it when you have like great players who kind of don't play that often anymore, but still like to be part of the scene, like to join events, you know, and they'll come back and try to make it happen. Is you don't have that raw experience at the moment. You still kind of have a bit in there because yeah, Tooth and Tail is like riding a bike, but you can really tell the difference between the guys who are grinding all the time and they know, oh, the enemy lost one too many tier 2 right there. I can come in and kill their second base.
Yeah, I wonder how much of the game though is like being consciously aware of that sort of thing, and also just having a feeling like, I think I can win.
Because the windows are like very short in this game, but also very meaningful. Because if you don't take advantage, like the last game we saw, ooh, yeah, that is a dead wolf. Nice attack there from Ronin. Lots of snakes here going down, but gets a little bit of value. Just his second base is lacking, but I think we saw that in the previous match we watched, right, where we could identify moments where it's like, oh, that window opened, but these are newer players, so they don't quite have that experience yet, so they back off when they should have gone in, or vice versa. Because the comeback element in Tooth and Tail is so strong that if you miss one of those windows, even if you have an advantage, but you leave your opponent alone for like a minute or two, they can be fine, you know? They can get right back into it.
Yep. Yeah, if you don't have that killer instinct, then it can definitely make you lose games that otherwise you would have won. And that's another thing that I think is a bit tougher for new players to grasp, is like, okay, how didn't I win here? And it's because you didn't attack when you should have.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I know? Well, you gotta know. You know? That's the only way to know is to know. But you don't know unless you know.
I think it was on, I think it was you and Tander on TNT Talks bringing this up, but I thought it was a good point, where Tander was talking about, like, in StarCraft you have a lot more, like, harassment, right? Like, there's engagements going on all the time, but they're not necessarily hard commitments. Where in Tooth and Tail, it's a little bit more frightening, I should say, is the best
dead.
word. Hey, nice explosion. But it's harder because instead of like that medevac harassment into the Zerg's main base or something, like you have to commit with your units, you know?
Yeah.
There's not a lot, and we have seen it, and I think there is room in the game with units like lizards and snakes and moles and chameleons and even fox for their harassment element of things. But 9 times out of 10, it's just big engagements.
Yeah, that's true. There just aren't a lot of... I think one of the things that enables those sorts of aggression is, as much as it is a problem with... Yeah, it's
Nicely done, Captain.
That was good. Very
yeah,
good,
those were fun. Thanks for submitting. Please continue to submit and join the event. Don't be shy. We need players in the beginner division too.
Yeah.
Okay, so another little ad break here, everybody. TNT Champions 2021. You got 5 days to sign up if you haven't already. Check out the Discord. It's the same Discord we've been using forever. I'll make sure I put it in the information on the YouTube VOD that I'll upload later today. And it's going to be exciting. We're doing a long Swiss event throughout September. And then we're going to be placed into GSL-style groups. Probably doing 2 divisions this year, maybe 3 depending on quantity of players. But it's going to be good. You know, we're going to have a lot of different casters coming up. I mean, we have some confirmed already, but you always see guys like Kerpa or somebody come online and help with the workload, you know, because one of the things that's really fun about these events is it's always fun to watch your game get casted on Twitch, right? So we try to do our best to cover as much as we can. And that's why I love why there's so many casters now, because for long periods of Tooth and Tail, it would be like me casting or me and somebody else, you know, and we literally just couldn't cover all the games. So when you have, you know, so many guys now that can help with that, like Tander, Tiki, Kerpa, Kipo, Tosh. I mean, the list goes on and on. We are good on our coverage rate. Like I think some of the last events that we've done, I mean, we were almost at like 100% coverage rate of all the games of the event. So that's really cool to me.
Yeah, it was. I think the second season, it was like a noticeable change. We got a bunch of new people, and we got more than 50% of the replays cast. It's only improved since then. I think that's part of the tournament design is trying to make it so that there aren't so many games that the casters couldn't possibly hope to cast them all.
Yeah.
When you end up doing a round robin, it ends up being a lot of matches.
Yeah.
And it can be very hard to get them all. The Swiss there'll be a lot for the Swiss, but after that it'll decrease very quickly.
That number is going up, son. We got 33 checking in now.
Indeed.
So we appreciate it. It's going to be fun, and it's not, I mean, it's a long commitment, but it's not a big commitment, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you're going to have to play, but I mean, you're playing like a match or 2 a week, you know? It's not,
yeah.
Especially in September as you're ramping up to it.
Yeah, the GSLs would be the worst. You could potentially end up needing to play 3 series in a week.
Yeah, that's not
if
too
you
bad.
like lose, win, lose. You know, maybe we should explain GSL format. Maybe not everyone knows.
Yeah, I love GSL format. I've been I've been watching GSL like literally since it spawned way back in the day with like Nestea and whatnot.
Was that like 2012?
yeah. And so basically you have a group of 4 players, right? Both players, so you got 2 1v1s, and then the winners of those 2 1v1s fight each other, and whoever wins that is out. They've won. They're done. And then you have the losers fight each other. Whoever loses there is out. They lost. And then you have the winner of the loser and the loser of the winner fight each other in the deciding match. And it's honestly one of the most fair ways to do it, outside of the fact that your group could be in balance, but we're trying really hard. I say we, more like Epicasi is trying really hard on the back end of the organization to try to prevent that. And mostly just by going off, you know, I'm sure there's some information like current ladder season. You've got the camel, rankings, but mostly it's just kind of going off feel, you know, where we're like, okay, you know, Tiki and Tatanka can probably duke it out, but Delthius, he's probably more like Tander Draco's level, so let's put them together, and, you know, that kind of, just kind of guesstimating skill levels, I'd imagine. I'm not, is that how you're going to go from Swiss to, or is it really just going to be based on the Swiss results?
It's really just based on Swiss. That's one
Yeah.
of the things I didn't necessarily like, because we ended up with some. It only happened like one time. One person was dishonest and ended up kind of messing stuff up for us.
Yeah.
But when there's a loophole, someone's going to take advantage of it. So we're just trying to, you know.
But then you also can't, when you try to do it by gut, like I was just talking about, I think we did that in a previous season, but you can't account for like how good some players get so fast. Like Trumpet was in Beginners League, or Tatanka's in
my gosh, that's right.
Beginners League, you know, and it's like, man, these guys are pumpers, you know, they're not messing
Yeah.
around, dude. They mastered the game in a week and a half and are killing it.
Tatanka joined the community within like 2 or 3 weeks. We were like, okay, this guy's definitely intermediate. And then he won intermediate, first place.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy, just completely crazy. And Trumpet took his timetable was a little bit longer, but he went beginner in I think maybe the first season we ever did of championship or of champions, and then he was intermediate the next season, and then premier the next season. He went the very direct ladder approach. That was actually our original intention, was to make it so that you remember there were like promotional and dropping something. We wanted like a continuous.
Oh, that was right. Yeah, it was
kind of
like,
like
you could. Yeah, at first Mocha designed it to where like, okay, so you kicked ass in the Beginners League, so now we're gonna buff you up to an intermediate, or you were in Premier, but you know you were kind of the last place in Premier, so we're gonna put you down to intermediate, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that was really cool, and I like the idea. I still do. It just means you have to be kind of involved as an organizer,
Right.
and that's another thing I'm focusing on, is trying to make it so that 2 months from this ending, we can just do another, and
Yeah.
it's not so hard on the organizers in terms of commitment.
Yeah, and it's also kind of honing in on that that optimal, that holy grail format, you know, where like you said, you can get it to the point where it's like, all right, man, like we're running 4 of these a year, and each one takes 3 months, and it's just go go go, you know. And there's not even like that much work that really needs to be done, because it's all structured and everyone knows how to play. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna sign up, I'm gonna do my Swiss, I'm gonna get into my GSL group, you know, and keep it going.
And the link is dead. Let me fix
Discord
that.
link is dead. Was I not linking the right one? Yeah, normally I do keep this channel open. Yeah, it should work. Does that not work?
I'm not seeing an invite. I have the like open invites right now. That should work. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Is that good, Ziggy? Does that link work? But yeah, anyways, guys, sign up for the event. It's coming up soon, 5 days, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, final note on GSL format? What I think I really like about it is, at the end of the day, you're kind of playing 3 best of 3s. You got to win a best of 3 of best of 3s to get out, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got to win 2 best of 3s to get out, or you got to lose 2 best of 3s to lose. So it's like really cool. All right, you can see Dell's link. Okay. Sweet.
All right. Well, I guess you just have to link it.
Yeah, I just see like 3 stars from what you posted.
Yeah, I guess it's I'm not able to post a link. That's okay.
Alrighty, well, we got a few more for you here. I'm actually thinking, you want to hop ahead to the 2v2s? Because we actually have some really cool 1v1s to end the day on.
Sure.
Alright, let's try these 2v2 mods. So these were from old P-Boot, Premium Bow. And he did a pretty thorough rebalancing of unit stats for 2v2, so this should be pretty fun. Have you ever played this or seen it?
I have. In fact, one of these replays might have me in it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. We did a lot of 2v2s the other day, although I think Premium just plays 2v2s non-stop, so
Yeah.
it's very possible this is...
If there was a guy that was going to make a balance patch for 2v2, it's probably in good hands, being
Yeah.
P-Boop. But,
Yeah.
all right, let's get into it. Match number 10 here on my list. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
Spawning in the bottom, we've got Heirloom and this guy. And up top, P-Boop and Ziggy. All right, so do you know, like, off the top of your head, any of the major changes with the patch, or?
We do. So you'll see when these commanders get sniped, possibly, you can look at the health totals. They have a lot of health.
So that's to prevent the frustration of losing your commander in a match. Oh my god, 100.
It is not. Because
Wait,
pigs do
pigs
10
do
damage
10
per
damage?
shot.
What are we
Pigs do
doing
10
here?
damage per shot. Okay. So basically, multiply all the hit points by 10. What Premium's done with that is it allows granularity. Like, squirrels...
Yeah, instead of 6 or 7 damage, you can say 65 damage. Is that
Exactly,
kind of what you're getting at?
and now it's 6.5 effectively in the old numbers.
Right, right,
So
right.
it just allows more granularity. That's something actually with squirrels, for example, they hit for 25 damage, so it's basically 2.5. Some visions have been nerfed. Build
Are the
times are slightly
commanders
increased.
moving faster? Or is that just me?
I think it's just you.
It might just be because there's so much roadway that I'm looking at.
Yeah. I don't think the commanders move any faster. But
Heirloom going for a proxy rush over here. So, in general, it's pretty similar, but things are a little bit more fine-tuned? Or are there, like, big radical changes?
the biggest changes I would say are all the build times are increased by about 10%. I think it's between 10 and 20%. Like, the unit build time is decreased, but the Warren build time is increased. So, for example, instead of 10 seconds to build the Warren, 10 seconds to build the unit for, say, a squirrel, it's 12 seconds to build the Warren, 8 seconds to build the unit.
Ah.
The reinforcements occur a little faster, but getting up the infrastructure takes a bit longer.
Okay.
But we need to focus on this, because this is...
I know, there was so much stuff
crazy.
going on. Heirloom's set up a little bit of an island over here, trying to get some turrets going, get some damage in, but finally Ziggy and P-Boop are starting to break out of it. At the same time, Ziggy was trying to come down through the middle, did establish a gristmill there. This is a wild game already.
It is.
Premium Bow just going snakes.
Yeah. Maybe that's, maybe snakes are OP in Premium Bow's system.
Well, what's interesting to me with the Warrens taking longer to build is it seems like it's going to be more impactful when you actually do get those Warren kills, you know?
Yeah, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. I've only played a bit of this mod, so I'm not 100% sure how everything is affected, but I do know generally what the changes are. Oh, another change. Tier 3s cost 60 more food for the Warren and the unit. So instead of 180, it's 240.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, so Premium Bow maybe getting a little big for his britches here. This guy in Heirloom
A little bit.
Gonna clean this up and push him back for now. Lots of squirrels coming in here from Ziggy, trying to maintain this front, maintain this gristmill positioning. And at the same time, this western flank that this guy in Heirloom had set up is mostly dealt with. One gristmill remaining. So yeah, we do have a tier 3 on the way. This guy getting up to Owl. And I do like the change on the tier 3. Because it is a lot more fun. You know, tier 3 units are great, but when 2v2 kind of devolves to like an Owl war, you know, that's not as interesting.
Yeah.
Big attack coming in, and it looks like they are going to break. P-Boop with a lot of snakes still on the back end. Would love to tag down that Owl. Let's see if they can actually get further up. Now, actually getting on these Warrens, but lots of reinforcements here. So many squirrels respawning out of those warrens very quickly.
Yeah, this game feels pretty equalized.
Yeah, I'm worried about yellow and blue's economy at the moment. Like, they need to make sure they don't fall behind on getting the second bases up and stuff. Another big push in here from P-Boop and Ziggy. The big key thing on these pushes, I think, is the snake staying alive, you know? Like, you want to trade everything else, but keep that tier 2 if you can. Yeah, I mean, is Airloo running out of gas here? It's just on a handful of squirrels.
Yeah, he's on a handful of squirrels. He doesn't have the greatest economy. He's building an expansion, though. That's important. He really needs to keep that, but it is very defended. They'd have to go through everything that Team Arlu, this guy, has in order to get to Arlu's base, so he should be alright.
Still really relying on squirrels here, but they do have the one owl up, trying to get those second bases going. Meanwhile, P-Boop has a pretty established second base. Ziggy does have this one on the front line, but getting this one in the back. I like how this base is still alive, and this guy's just like, screw it, I'll throw a farm on it. I mean, if you guys are not going to kill it, why not?
Looks like they've decided to kill it.
Yeah, finally, as they say that, P-Boop coming in with some cams to clean this up. Alright, minefield going down. This seems to be just kind of a meat grinder game so far. No real... I mean, there were some really cool tactics early on with this proxy mill and some turrets and stuff, but since then, it's kind of been Ziggy and Premium pushing in and getting repelled, like, right as they start hitting the Warren line.
Yeah, as soon as it seems like it's just kind of gone back and forth, and this is really an eco-dependent game, I'd say. And as a team, Premium and Ziggy are definitely ahead, but
yeah,
but it's also, yeah, I don't know. They also have just weaker armies, I'd say, in general.
They this map is really favored for them, and looking at it more, I kind of understand why. This guy in Airloo tried to take over like the 9 o'clock position early, because getting out of this is a nice little starter spot that they're on, but like getting out of this and getting to a third base for yellow and blue seems really tough.
Yeah, I don't see where else they would go. I mean, this forward base that Ziggy has, green, that's like, I guess it's kind of like the contested base, but generally when there is a contested base that's just dead in the middle, it can be pretty hard for either side to take it, so it ends up being untaken, or at least mostly unfarmed. Ziggy's taken it, but it doesn't really matter if he doesn't have farms, and he doesn't, so...
Got a fox out here. Boar on the way for P-Boop. I think the boar is a smart call. Yellow and blue have historically been relying on like a lot of tier 1, a lot of owls. So let's see if this boar will be able to bust through.
Yeah, the boar's good. This guy doesn't have much tier 2.
Yeah, no snakes or anything like that to help target. There is a fox though. Maybe the fox needs some shots on the board, but that can be very difficult when there's so many units here. Starting to get some shots in now. A lot of pigeons here, but so much damage is being done to all the Warrens. And I think this army of snakes here in the back might be enough to finish the game. Let's see. In the meantime, Ziggy's cleaning up Airloo's base, and Airloo with a fox and a dream, man, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Ooh.
I don't think so. Nope.
Yeah, and that's going to be enough. Really cool back and forth, like, meat grinder game there in the middle, but the board was a good call by Premium Bow and helped them seal that one out.
Yeah, what's crazy to me is that with the way that everything's been, been multiplied by 10, boards actually have 1,600 hit points.
Jeez. That's it? Oh, that's all crazy. You got?
Oh, that's it, yeah, just 1,600.
It's not bad. Okay. Alright, let's do the other 2v2, and then we'll end, with some strong games here. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. I hope you're in this one. Oh, sorry. There it goes. Jeez, took a second.
Yeah.
We've got Dam and Premium Bow on the bottom. Are you Dam?
I am not.
And Ziggy
I believe
and
Dam is
Rush?
Night Slayer.
I like Night Slayer a lot. Look at this spawn for Ziggy and Rush. It's a bit yikers there. Also,
lobby, so I will not spoil.
I'm at 27, 28.
I am too.
29. Okay, just making sure because my game took a second to load in. Damn, with no real tier 1 here outside the mole.
Yeah, but premium. Wait, oh, Damn and premium both don't have. I think they're on the same team based on these spawns.
Yeah, they are.
But my gosh, Rush and Ziggy are so far
spread
apart.
out. Yeah.
This might be the farthest I've ever seen. And Damn and premium, or no. Yeah, Damn and premium. Premium is going for Rush, and Damn is going for Ziggy. Ziggy has built a Warren, but I don't think that's going to do it. Oh, the lizard
got out, but the mole takes care of it.
Mole is too strong. At the same time, Premium is killing Rush's first Squirrel Warren and kills a pig. That is rough.
Yeah. So far, so good with these mole rushes. Looks like they're doubling down.
They're good.
Continuing to produce. Really smart, by the way, from Ziggy here on the placement of the Warren. Whenever you're under attack from the moles, definitely try to hide your Warrens. Get your pigs to protect them. Remember, the moles don't do that much damage to pigs, but absolutely devastate structures. And it looks like Dam is going to wrap it up here, go home, and build. But I say that he's got 400 food. Starting to invest in some wire lines. Meanwhile, Premium Bow getting a lot of moles together. This is a dangerous amount, but will he get the value with these lizards here to clean it up? I don't think so.
I mean, he killed a bunch of lizards. That's one of the biggest problems, though, of going home and selling your moles and going home, is that it leaves you with a rough window. But because Dam built the wire wall, and Premium was able to kill some lizards before he went home, that actually ends up kind of making it so that Team Ziggy Rush can't go in and do any damage in response to the weak point after selling moles.
Kind of what like the wire is intended for in my brain, you know, not for you to just be able to like hide behind all game long and get up to your owl snake, but hey,
yeah,
I know I'm a bit vulnerable in this window. Let me build some quick cheap wire to help buffer.
Yeah, and it still does something. I like it. It is more of a crowd control source now than it used to be, because it doesn't deal as much damage, but it does still slow the same it did. Which means that units can stand in it for longer, so as they pass through it, it's like, I'm pretty sure it slows more than water.
Good toad hits there.
Yeah, those are good toad hits. This is exactly what they need, because they're a little bit weak, so they need to be preventing... but wait a second, let me check something. I think wire is not...
Yeah, we're in Premium Bow's world now, so...
Oh, no.
I'm not sure how strong toads and wire are here compared to live, you know?
Wire does 1.5 damage and has 10 health, effectively. And its HP does regen still.
Damn, coming in here. Actually going for the throat, targeting down the mill. I think he's going to get it. There's no units here to protect for Rush. Rush is not going to die immediately, but very, very crippled here, losing the main base like that. And Damn is just going to do a backflip and stealth out of there, man. Put on his sunglasses. That was awesome.
I think he needs to burrow home and run so that Rush can't reveal the units. Okay, but it is fine.
Oh no, he's going for the kill?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, no way. Is he gonna do it?
That's greedy. That's greedy.
No,
he's gonna get him out of there.
That would have been game over for Rush, I think.
Yeah, that would have basically been it.
Yeah, that would have been it.
Alright, Rush coming in with 15 squirrels, but oh my god, look at them just getting shredded.
Dam's got ferrets as well.
Yeah, nice use of ferrets here. Always fun to pair the ferrets with defense. Meanwhile, Rush gonna get knocked out by Dam's ferrets down here in the south, and that's probably effectively game. That's gonna leave Ziggy in a 1v2. Let's see if Ziggy can make it happen. Got an owl on the way, but I mean, Premium Bow is just so far ahead. 16 farm economy. So effectively 24 farms to 8 right now, or I guess 20 to 4 now that 5-minute mark just hit. Jeez, this wire seems really strong. Look at just shred units.
The wire, okay, I think in Pre-Boop's world, the wire shreds effectively. It also doesn't have as much health though. It's effectively 10 hit points, which isn't quite as nerfed as they are in our world, but
is that the P-Boop's secret that the wire is crazy strong? So they're just building 50. Like, what are you gonna do against that? Like, even if you had moles or cams, like, could you slam through that effectively? Yeah, I was trying.
I think so, because especially with moles with their building crate, because they only have 100 hit points. So moles are going to be doing. Let me check the sheet. He's got a little a screenshot of a spreadsheet up on the. Yeah, so moles do 33 damage per hit, and I assume they still. Yeah, they still crit structures, so they'll be doing 60 damage per hit.
Okay.
To the wire, which means they get the mole will two-shot the wire.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and
it's a little bit of wire on the field.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit of wire. 670 food for dam and 160 for.
I like how Ziggy's just like staying in this game. Like, what a good sport.
I mean, all right. Premium Bow does have a lot of eco. I was gonna say it's not too bad, like their situation, because there's nothing to shoot air for either team.
They're just,
so
they're just flexing now. Like, look at this. I'm curious if Dam will eventually cover the whole map in wire. It seems like he's working on it.
Had him do that before. There was one time he was playing against me, and I think all he built was wire. And so I went, oh, okay, and I went to 24 farms and built a falcon ball and flew over all wire.
Nice.
But the wire was still strong at this point, and so I couldn't do anything else. Wire was very good. It is not so good anymore though.
Yeah, it looks like Ziggy will tap out. Fun match though. I did like the multi-pronged mole rush in the beginning.
Yeah, that was really cool. I haven't seen that happen really in 2v2s.
All right, we got a couple more to end the day out on. We're gonna go into Tosh versus this guy. Are you ready to roll?
I am.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Spelling on the left-hand side, we've got this guy with a pretty interesting deck here, and over on the right, Big Pimpatosh. Okay, what is this game? What is happening here? No squirrels, no lizards. This guy doesn't even have tier 1. I mean, pigeons don't count.
They do not.
But he's got wire and turrets and a dream of getting out the boar fox. He's got a nice little spawn, too. 3 bases. You can cover this pretty well with minimal defense, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I think that the Badger will probably beat the Fox, though. I don't know.
Well, in the traditional rock paper scissors tier 3, the Fox beats the Badger, but it can depend, and especially because Tosh doesn't have healing for the Badger. I think this guy could effectively dunk on it, you know, with some good shots. But we'll see how it goes. It's not always that cut and dry, you know. A lot of it depends on positioning. Like if the Badger actually gets into range of the Fox, and yeah, it just obliterates it in seconds. But if the Fox can kite the Badger, can pretty easily take it down. 6-farm ferret with a proxy mill. Okay, he's gonna try to set up some defenses over here.
So I do think that he will. He wants the ferrets up. Does Tosh know about this mill? Does not. He should, because his territory is warped.
Yeah,
he just cuts it.
Yeah. Okay. He's got the moles to go deal with that.
I don't think this guy's going to be able to do anything about him taking that mill.
Was this a random deck from this guy or something? Like, I don't think so, because a random deck would give you a better deck than this.
Yeah,
Like,
it
just
would.
on the balance. Like, it wouldn't do a double tier 3. It would give you some squirrels or lizards or something.
We could do double tier 3, but
Ooh! Ooh,
put
gotta be
those
careful.
up on the dirt.
There we go. Gets out of there.
That's value, because Toad blew up on the ferret and he got a pig.
I mean, if this guy actually wins. Now, keep in mind, Tosh doesn't have squirrels or lizards either, so I don't think this is like a ladder match. I think they're just kind of having fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Badger on the way.
Yeah, the badger is necessary though, because once this guy gets pigeons up, there isn't going to be much Tosh can do to kill the ferrets except for just explosive damage first.
And there's really nothing that this guy can do against the badger outside of the fox with his comp, so
Yeah, he
doesn't
really needs to scout it.
Yeah, if he doesn't scout, but he's too busy. This is smart from Tosh. Like, hey, your opponent can't scout your badger if they are constantly having a micro against your toads. Keeping them back, I mean, damn, that did nothing because the pigeons.
Didn't do anything. Yep.
That is rough.
That is very rough. The badger is being constructed though, so this guy's on a timer.
Still hasn't spotted it. I think what might happen here is we might get in a crazy game where, like, Tosh has, like, a badger in a farm, you know? Because he's just been getting annihilated. Because these toads are just not... Oh, does get one. Yeah, the pigeon's really, really hamstringing any of this toad concept. I think this is like Tosh in the lab. Is what I think this is. Like, he's just playing with the new toads. Like, really trying to feel them out.
Yeah. Tosh, I mean, this guy needs to, this guy's never killing Tosh before the badger's actually out.
Yeah, the badger's here, and now what can this guy do? He sees that badger, and he's like, damn it. Runs home, knows he's just losing his army here. He's got a bunch of food. Oh no, he didn't even run home, he worked to this bill. Yeah, this is what I thought would happen, man. Like, Tosh basically destroyed, but he's got the badger.
From starving, he needs to sell the toad and get back to his mill. I think he'll have time.
Yeah, he's okay.
That's close.
Oh, but this guy's Splinter Cell Ferret. No, it's gonna die to the cabin! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh.
No!
That is sad.
Wow. He's just got so much food. Why does he have so much food?
Because all he built, he sold all his pigeon warrens.
Oh. Oh, he's trying to alley-oop around the badger.
It's pulling the badger away, because Pimpatosh simply doesn't have the food.
Dude, I think he should, as weird as this sounds, do you target the pig here?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you target the pig.
Because he could have killed that pig with those shots. And then Tosh can't rebuild.
Tosh can't rebuild, yeah.
Unless he sells the badger. But I guess this guy couldn't know that Tosh was down like that low on food, you know? That's something we know.
This cabin is just a thorn.
There it is. Dude, this is so funny. It's like one ferret. Oh, okay. Get the pig. Just get the pig. Just get the pig. Just get the pig.
It's But the mill is so low.
Another ferret on the way.
He's coming. The fox warren's built.
Oh my god, he's got a fox.
And he has food to queue it too.
Yeah. Alright.
Tosh has finally had the food to build another mill. That's important.
If he can just play ring around the ferret with this badger a little bit longer, once this fox is out, that badger is dungeon rings. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Straight 1v1? There's no way.
Yeah.
This guy's sneaky. He can probably just stand up here and shoot, yeah. Oh, can't afford to be missing strikes like that. That's a dead... This is fine. This is just buying time for the fox.
Yeah. Once the fox gets out, I think it's over. And it's looking like the fox is going to get out. Because I don't think Tosh is going to find the warren or kill all of this guy's
He doesn't have time. Like, literally...
Yeah, he just doesn't have time.
He's playing like a turret defense game or something against these ferrets right now. Like, he has to respect this ferret threat. He's got to pick them off as they come, and here it is. Here's the fox. Now, don't mess this up, this guy. Oh, okay. Nicely done.
Is this guy BMing?
Alright, Tosh.
What do you have up your sleeve, Tosh?
He's got 200 food. maybe some moles. I don't know. Poor Fox can't do anything about buildings.
I know.
Here comes the ferret. Yeah, he's gonna try the moles, but I think this is in the bag for this guy. There's no way that those... I mean, look how many mills this guy has all over the map.
Yeah, but it could end up... I don't know.
Tosh in chat. I was so bad when that fox came out, dude, I bet. Oh, man. What a fun game. This is what I was talking about earlier, where you get into that, like you were saying, like Stone Age, guns, nukes, and then Stone Age again. Like, we got into the Stone Age again, but we had tier 3 units, you know?
Yeah, so it kind of... What can you do with a nuke in the Stone Age?
Yeah. That was fun. That was a fun game. Watching ferrets, like, slowly go across the map and the badger, like, having to intercept them.
Oh, that was so good. But I don't know that I've ever seen that situation before.
All right, everybody, we got one more game for you here. This is gonna be fun. Melvin Fro, Mochaccino, both honorable nerds, I would call it. Like the macro players, the standard macro player kind of style, you know, where we're not gonna do anything crazy. We're just gonna play a better game than you and beat you fairly. You know, I think both the players kind of have that style. But don't forget, TNT Champions 2021 signups are open now. We got 5 days left for the signups. Big shout out, of course, to Epicasi for organizing it. Who's on your team? Who's helping you behind the scenes here?
Other organizers include Design, Gent, Sassy, Sassy Marquis, Kipo, and Tandor.
Nice.
Nicolacchio, technically, but I haven't seen him around in a while, so.
Dizon's another unsung hero of the scene. He does a lot in the back end, you know, for art, for websites. And that nice little, I'll pull it up real quick, but this little thing we use for tournaments, this little overlay, I mean, that's Dizon. He set all that up. It was kind of specific for one event, but he kind of set it up with, like, HTML coding to where you could, like, quickly get, like, other players on it with, like, little icons and stuff. It was really cool, but we still just use the shell of that. I do anyways, because I think it looks nice for event coverage and stuff. But yeah, we got 5 more days to sign up. Sign up, everybody. Then we're going to go into a Swiss round for a bit, then some GSL rounds, and we're hoping at the very least for 2 divisions, so don't be afraid if you are a new player. Come on in, and the water's fine. You know, we'll try to do our best to make sure you're against other people of similar skill level. So yeah, let's get into it. Game number 9. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, spawning in the bottom left, rocking the fox. We got Mochaccino, and up top his opponent, Melvin Fro, the runner-up of last season's tournament here. Cool decks, very similar.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of different flavor in one way or the other. You know, Melvin going Badger, so fits in the Pigeon. And Mochaccino, a little more flexibility. Fox is kind of an independent unit, so it's got that slot open, can run that Lizard.
Yeah, Mocha's got the Snake-Fox thing going on, but they do fill somewhat different roles. It's just hard to micro them both if they're both up. But you can definitely have them up independently, which is why I think that it's definitely not a problem to have them both. I think I favor
that's very
Mocha's
true.
deck.
Like, I mean, let's be real. Most games, you're probably not going to build your tier 3 anyways.
Yeah.
So that is a good point. Like, he's still got the snakes to do snake things. And then, yeah, if you do have snakes and fox out at the same time, you got to prioritize the fox micro. But that doesn't mean snakes are worthless. Like, they're still going to be attacking things and poisoning things. Just, you know, hopefully not tier 1.
Hopefully. Yeah, I don't know how many games I've ended with Squizzard Skunk Snake or Squizzard Skunk Falcon. I just never built my tier 3.
Yeah.
It's just like, if tier 3, I think of it as, I know you can definitely end the game with a certain tier 3 comp, you know, but I think that I play tier 3 a little responsive. Like, okay, well, this is an opportunity. I should build a tier 3, and so I will. But I don't, like, go out seeking to build my tier 3.
Yeah.
It's just risky to do that.
I like... It's hard to explain. Like, I've watched so many games of Tooth and Tail, right? Like, I have think I have a pretty good knowledge set on how the game works, but that doesn't necessarily reflect in my playstyle. Like, you know what's really fun to do, but not correct? Try to sneak out a one-base fox. Like, that is just fun, man. Like, if Mochaccino just built a fox, like, let's say this high ground behind his base, I don't think that can quite fit a Warren. Maybe it can, but either way, you know what I'm getting at. Like, you throw a tier 3 down in a spot like that, you just cross your fingers and you hope it doesn't get scouted. Like, that's just so fun to me. To, like, blindside somebody with a fox. But I would generally say that's not good gameplay, because a smart... we've been talking a lot about what kind of defines a high-level player, and one of those things is good scouting. You know, a high-level player is scouting you constantly and thoroughly.
Yes.
So they will find your sneaky fox, and, you know, then from there it's tough, but...
Yeah. I remember one time we were... I think it might have been for one of Gent's, like a faction-based thing. We had to fight each other. And you were on the Fox team, I was on the...
Oh, yeah! I kind of remember that. Yeah, yeah.
And you got your fox out. It might have been a 2-base fox, but either way, it was a pretty low eco game. I just transitioned into only lizards, and that made your fox very sad.
Yeah, that can happen. I think I played against... I actually like the lizard versus fox matchup. Like, it is a bit favored for the lizard, but the fox can still make something happen if you have enough terrain, I guess. Because you can, like, shoot a lizard and run away, but it can be rough. I don't think it's, like, 100%. Lizards are surprisingly good against a lot of tier 3s, though. You know, like, lizard versus badger is pretty good. Lizard versus fox is good, of course. Here comes some chameleons. Getting some damage done here.
Yeah, anything that needs to kite, lizards get really good.
Yeah.
I've won by out-ecoing a boar player and building only lizards as well. Like,
Rattan used to be a big proponent of that. He used to say all the time, like, hey man, lizards counter boar, watch this. Now, you know, 20 rocks is better than 5 paper. So I don't think you can make that argument.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta keep that in mind. You know, things do counter each other, but really what wins game is money. Money.
Yep. Money.
So, speaking of this game, we are getting to our tier 3. This has actually been a really nice one. You know, we've seen a few pokes and prods, a little bit of chameleon harassment, no big engagements, no big commitments just yet. Some good scouting on both sides. Mocha seeing the tier 3. Melvin has not scouted the fox yet. Good fox placement, though, from Mocha here. Risky if it gets scouted, but the goal is that it doesn't get scouted.
Yeah, trying to keep Melvin low on information. That's there's only so much you can do at the highest level for preventing information spread. It's kind of map dependent. If you have a
I think the best way
Mm-hmm.
to deny information is to stay aggressive. You know, even if it's just with like 6 lizards or something, but you're constantly biting at their ankles. You know, with these lizards.
Yeah.
And on the back end, you're making your boar, or you're making your fox, or what have you.
Yeah, that's a surefire way to identify I'm trying to hide something, is I'm running around with 6 lizards when you know I'm never going to get anything done with 6 lizards.
Yeah.
But I keep them anyway. Just
6 lizards is like the perfect number, though, where it's like, if their army's out of position, you can kill a pig or 2 or a warren, but at the same time, if you get busted and you lose the lizards, it's not the end of the world. It's only 6 lizards, you know?
Yeah.
But they're not going to be able to, like, completely blindside and, like, pile style, you know, run in and just end your whole career. Here comes Melvin with the front push, but Mocha flanking with the fox here, going for the bacon and just hoping that his army, with no micro here in the bottom, will be able to handle it. He's coming around on the badger. He's getting a lot of damage in with this fox. He's killed so many pigs. Needs to be careful, though. Pushing back for now. He's got his little escape path. Ooh, that's so close. Nicely done.
Wow.
Good fox control. He took some hits, but he dealt so much damage.
Yeah, Melvin's down to 6 farms. Mochaccino has 14. Like, that's the whole story, pretty much.
Really doing, honestly, I really love that play a lot. Really playing into the fox's strength. Gonna lose it there, not quite microing it. I think he was trying to micro snake tags. Like, the badger died too, and that's what I was getting at earlier, is you can't really do both, you know?
Yeah. In that situation, I'd actually favor, because you don't really have to micro the fox. You just need to pull it back at the right time.
Yeah.
So I'd pull the fox back and drop micro on the snakes just for a moment.
Yeah.
And then I'd go back to the snake micro.
That was cool though. I honestly like that a lot from Mocha. Like utilizing the fox's strength of being quick around the map, picking off the pigs, and at the end of the day, he traded the fox for the badger, but the armies clashed, and when the dust settled, Mocha's got the better eco because all that fox damage he did.
Yeah, and this better eco has enabled him to actually keep his fox warren, and so it's building another, and it's about to be out, and he's floating a ton. Like imagine if he actually had this food invested.
Yeah,
he's already handily winning this fight.
I don't mind the float as much in these kind of positions because it's like, well, none of my army is going to be in the red. Like, as I'm losing my units, I'm going to be able to pay for them again.
Mochaccino being just ruthless, getting more bacon.
Yeah, some good snipes there. Moving back. This is a nice little path for the fox. That double high ground is a bit worrisome. That badger almost killed the fox earlier. And here's that small lizard harassment. It's going to come in. I would actually love to see him just rally here and burrow home. Like, just let him kill the mill, because he needs to defend. Melvin is at the third, and this is the most important base, and it's going to go down.
This has put Mocha in an interesting position. I'm getting more tags with the fox, though.
Yeah, gotta be careful. There's that snake out. Good shot. Able to pick off the snake. Very important for the fox. And that's gonna be it.
Alright.
Really sick game.
That was good. Melvin, it took him too long to actually get the, get Mochaccino's base there.
Yeah.
Like, he did kill it, but the damage was, or the eco was done.
That might inspire me, that makes me feel good about the fox again, man. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll be it for today. Pretty good stream here, 2.5 hours. So, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for having me.
And, of course, TNT Champions 2021, 5 more days to sign up. Everybody, sign-ups are due August 20th. Don't be shy. Any skill level can totally come in and participate. We're going to do a Swiss. We're going to go into GSL groups. It's going to be a lot of fun. So keep your eyes peeled on the Tooth and Tail Discord and the TNT Champions Discord for that. Any final words here, Epicosity, as we wrap things up?
Yeah. If you know anyone who hasn't played the game in a while, any friends, I've got a couple I should probably tell. We only need 14 more to have 3 whole divisions of 16 players each. So
nice.
That'll be a pretty big event, and it'd be nice to hit that number. I'd like it.
Yeah. Tooth and Tail Championship in the past is historically like 50 or so players. So let's pump these numbers up a little bit higher. Let's get up to that, like 50 participants. That'd be a lot of fun. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Keep sending me replays, everybody. By the way, thank you so much for the influx. I think I got together a good bit of replays from a variety of players, and hadn't really requested any for a while. But yeah, keep them coming in. I'll pop in every now and then and do some replay casting or something. But I think my schedule will be pretty full with TNT Champions. I'm looking forward to covering a lot of that event coming up shortly. So cool. Right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Get to practicing. Hit that ladder. Get ready for TNT Champions. Tell your buddies, and I'll catch y'all next time.